To be a Steelers, consider others before you consider yourself. To protect your brother, even from himself. To give support at your own expense. And when wearing the black and gold suit of armor, make sure nobody desecrates it, disrespects it. Most importantly, we ourselves don't dishonor it. From previous legends who have donned the black and gold. These virtues I learned while playing for the Steelers are what make the legacy of the black and gold timeless. They are passed down in the locker room from the steel curtain to anyone who valiantly wears the black and gold. Creating a brotherhood that is deeper than money, business, and winning. To be a Steelers, consider others before you consider yourself. This is our culture, Steeler culture. Now, here are your hosts, Rob and Dan, the SteelTwins.
Steeler Nation, what is going on? Thank you guys so very much for tuning in for yet another edition of the Steeler Culture Podcast, where we break down Pittsburgh Steelers football. This episode is powered by our great friends over at BetUS Sportsbook and Casino and Steelers Nation. It is officially playoff time as we're here to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens wild card playoff matchup. And Dan, I got a question for you real quick before we get into it. How excited are you?
Not very. No, I'm not excited at all about this. For the second year in a row, I'm going into a Steelers versus Ravens game, nonetheless a playoff game, which is the first Steelers versus Ravens playoff game in 10 years exactly. I call that the Ben Tate game because that was the game the Steelers signed Ben Tate for one game because Bell got hurt by Reggie Nelson the game prior in the season finale.
Coincidentally, it was against the Bengals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I remember that like it was yesterday. It was 10 years ago. We last played the Ravens in the playoffs, and 10 years later, here we are again in the wild card in Baltimore. But for the second year in a row, I am not excited about a Steelers versus Ravens game. Last year, when we got blown out by the Texans, we faced the Ravens the next week, and I wasn't excited for it. Hilariously, we ended up winning that game. Kenny Pickett threw a touchdown to Pickens.
In the most Steeler way fashion, honestly.
It's the most Steelers thing ever. And the most Steelers thing ever would for them to lose 4 straight and then win their first playoff game in 8 seasons by beating the Ravens in their house after giving them the AFC North division. That'd be the most Steelers thing ever. But is there a chance? Do you guys think that's going to happen? Let us know in the chat. But going into it, I'm not excited. I'm not confident. I'm not very optimistic.
No, neither am I.
In fact, this is the playoffs we're talking about.
Yeah, usually, like, I remember, younger teenage years, Killer Bee prime days, right? Like when we would get into the playoffs, clinch a playoff berth. Man,
Yeah,
I would just be pumped and excited for playoff time because I thought, this is where the best Pittsburgh Steelers would come to play.
Yeah, when we actually had a competent offense.
Yeah, exactly. God, those were the days. One day.
Well, we still didn't win anything with them.
No, unfortunately not. And that's the reason being, is because of the failures and of the unfortunate losses in the playoffs. We've lost 5 straight playoff games, dude. And because of that, I have conditioned myself to keep my expectations low when it comes to this team, when it comes to Mike Tomlin leading the charge as a head coach. And now here we are again, going into the wild card against the Ravens, and I feel the same exact way. Low expectations, not very optimistic. And if I'm going to be real, I'm not really giving the Steelers team any chance whatsoever.
I don't blame you. If you as a Steelers fan are and you give them optimism and you're being hopeful, all kudos to you. That's you. That's fine. That's your right as a Steelers fan. You have the belief. That's fine. In fact, I give you all the kudos in the world. I want to have faith. I want to have confidence in this team. But what they've done the last 4 games and their recent playoff history, I find it very hard to think that this team can win a playoff game, that this team can win this season with what they've done recently.
And that's what it comes down to, just based off the recent performances and, of course, the recent playoff failures at that. It's just kind of hard to really be optimistic at that.
Now, I will say,
there's just not much to really weigh on.
I will say it is against the Ravens. It's against the divisional rival. If there is one team for the Steelers to go into a playoff game against and be focused and rally together and be as ready and as prepared as they can be, it is against the Ravens, because against the Ravens, the Steelers typically play their toughest and they typically play their best, because against the Ravens, they look at them, they view them a ton different than any other team in the league. Like, they know the importance, they know the magnitude of this game, the nature of the rivalry could make this game very close and could keep the Steelers within a potential victory, their first playoff victory in 8 seasons. So that's that. It's against the Ravens, and you know, the last time we faced the Ravens, it wasn't pretty. We got blown out. And I will say this. Obviously, Elliott wasn't there. Pickens wasn't there. But, you know, I also don't want to rely on that too much and think, well, the Ravens didn't really beat a fully healthy Steelers team. The reality of the situation is the Ravens have won 4 straight. The Steelers have lost 4 straight. The Steelers were in the lead from week 11 to week 17 in the AFC North, and they let it go. This is a different Ravens team.
Yeah.
And right now, we are a different Steelers team.
Yeah, and that's even getting some starters back from injury, and now it hasn't really helped one bit, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It just hasn't. It hasn't showcased that whatsoever. This Steelers team just has not been able to showcase what they need to do heading into the playoffs.
No, they haven't.
And that's why many people are down the Steelers, even some in the fan base, you and I included. That's why the Ravens are 9.5 favorites.
But if we're gonna look at history, and we're gonna go to history, and we're gonna rely on history, the Ravens have only beat the Steelers twice in the last 10 games.
Yeah.
So you got to favor that. You got to look at the other side of the coin. So could the Steelers come in with a different mindset, more focused, and as juvenated as they need to be? Lord knows we all hope so, because at the end of the day, all we want, no matter what, no matter how it's done, is a playoff victory. We are so hungry for a playoff victory. We are still in our longest playoff win drought since before the Immaculate Reception. And could that go on for another year under Mike Tomlin? Very likely, unfortunately.
That's my fear.
That's everyone's fear, obviously. I mean, this is a single elimination tournament. So, as Tomlin would say.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how do you guys feeling, man? There's a poll in the chat. How many points do you guys think the Steelers allow? 10 plus, 20 plus, 30 plus. Now, 10 plus means like 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to whatever.
Just to clarify.
So, get you guys' polls in the chat. How many points do you guys think the Steelers allow? Keep in mind, the last 5 playoff games we've had, we have allowed 30 or more each game. Just throwing it out there. And the Ravens scored 30 on us the last time. And they've scored 30 points in their last 4 games.
Yeah, 11 times overall this season.
So just
30 or more.
God, that's
Yeah.
Yeah. Just saying. But yeah, let us know you guys' thoughts in the chat. How you guys feeling? What are your honest opinions about this game heading into the playoffs? Let us know you guys' thoughts down in the chat. Get you guys' polls in. Shout out to you guys in the chat, man. Jay's Life says, I'm going Saturday. You're going to the game on Saturday? You're going to Baltimore? You're going to M&T Bank Stadium? You're going to enemy territory? That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Hey, listen, man, enjoy it to the best of your ability, bro.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah, have a great time. Have a great time.
Just the atmosphere going into enemy territory. I've never went to enemy territory.
Nope.
So I don't know what that's like.
Nope.
You got some balls, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like, do your thing, brother. Do your thing. Have a great time. Enjoy the game as much as you can.
And God, please bring some sort of good juju to the Steelers, because Lord knows we need it. We need a playoff victory. We got to knock the Ravens off their high horse.
Some dark magic if you got some under your sleeve, right?
I suppose. Mike Tomlin voodoo, whatever it's called. So let us know you guys' thoughts down in the chat. Jay Clip says, my thoughts is the quarterback coach better be helping Russ. I know Russ, a vet, But what are they paying the quarterback coach to do all there and glaze? Russ, come on, man, lock in. I feel you. I mean, that's coaching overall for this game. That's Tomlin, that's the position coaches, that's the coordinators, that's everybody. Coaching overall has failed this team for many years. I've always said it's the biggest difference between the Steelers and so many other teams in the league. Coaching is just, I don't know, it's night and day compared to the other teams.
No, it is.
So it's coaching in general.
If you're not down with that,
Tony Daniel.
we've got 2 words
For the
for
$5 super chat.
He says, and I quote, "We have had the same problem forever, boys. Wide receiver and corner have been a bad spot for us for years now, and we haven't fixed it with a first." Correct, we haven't. In fact, I think the last first-round pick we spent on a corner was, unfortunately, Artie Burns.
Wow.
The last receiver we took in the first round, I believe, was Antonio Holmes.
Yes, Antonio Holmes.
That was almost 20 years ago.
Yep. It struck with Holmes. Burns, they just panicked.
They panicked.
Yeah.
William
Colbert panicked.
Yeah, big time. Oh, my God. But, yeah, I 100% agree with you, Tony. We got to go corner receiver first round. I know a lot of us are already thinking ahead for the offseason. I'm more focused on this playoff game, and I'm hoping we can go beyond this playoff game. Despite our beliefs and our honesty, all we want at the end of the day is the Steelers to make a playoff push and go beyond the wild card.
Yeah.
Get a playoff victory. I know it's kind of pathetic and whatever word you want to say. I suppose weak for lack of better terms.
This is what we have now come to.
Yeah.
As a fan base. Like, man, like, if we can just get that playoff win.
I know. That's where we're at.
Sheesh.
But we'll discuss the whole game. We'll discuss everything, the playoff history. It's Juju.
The Juju?
Is it Juju? 199. I feel like Russ might ball out, but I don't know. I mean, like, if the Steelers win this game, it's the most Steelers thing for them to do. We've seen Russ ball out before. It's not like he's incapable.
He hasn't done it since that Bengals game. This is the first one at that.
No. He hasn't done much in the passing game. Granted, the line hasn't done him favors. The receivers are dropping passes. The coordinator is so awful.
Yeah,
the game plan is weak as hell.
There's so many problems offensively. It's
a collective team, just mess.
Clusterfuck.
It is. I feel like we say this every year. Different bodies, but same issues. It's just. I hope that's not the case for this game. That's our greatest fear, but I hope that's not the case for this game. But we'll discuss all the Steelers versus Ravens matchups and what Lamar's been doing, and we'll discuss the history and how we honestly feel about the Steelers versus Ravens. So let us know your guys' thoughts in the chat. Get you guys' polls in. While you guys do that, huge shout out to BetUS Sportsbook and Casino for sponsoring with us on this live stream for Wild Card Weekend. It is the playoffs, man. The regular season flew by. It fucking flew by, man.
To say the least.
And now we got Wild Card Weekend. We got football on Saturday. The Steelers close out Saturday night with the Steelers versus Ravens. We got 3 Sunday games and, of course, a Monday night game. Chargers, Texans. Who you got, Rob?
Honestly, I'm going Los Angeles.
I'm gonna go LA too.
Houston is just not that convincing, and just the injuries are definitely playing a huge effect on it. And Stroud just hasn't been impressive.
Steelers, Ravens. Who you got? Look at that. They are 10-point underdogs.
Oh, they're now 10?
They are heavy underdogs.
Yo, they were just 9.5 just this afternoon.
They are heavy underdogs, dude. Look at that money line. Oh, my God.
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Really?
That might just be me, but yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll go Ravens. Broncos, Bills.
Bills. You got the wrong town.
Wrong sport.
I don't know. It's going to be a great game. That's going to be a really good game. Ooh.
I'm going Bills, man.
Yeah,
Bo Nix in his rookie season, I don't know.
I think Denver can put up a fight, but I think Josh Allen gets the victory for them.
Broncos defense is legit, but I think Josh Allen's too good this year, so I'm going to go Bills. Packers, Eagles. This is going to be good.
It should be. It depends on Jordan Love's condition and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because remember, he did hurt his elbow. But honestly, I'm going to go Philly.
I'm going to go Philly either. See how we're taking all heavy favorites. That might change here. Commanders or Bucks?
That one could go either way.
I'm going Commanders.
That one could go either way.
I'm going Commanders.
I mean, Tampa Bay's secondary is just really beat up right now. A lot of injuries, and it's very suspect as well. I think Jaden Daniels could really pick apart that secondary big time.
Yeah, I'm
going to go Commanders.
I'm going to go Commanders as well as my upset of the week. And Minnesota and the Rams. They don't have money line yet, so we'll save that for later. But this is all the games for Wild Card Weekend, man. It should be a very exciting weekend of playoff football. I'm very excited for it. We're going to combine all this into a parlay and just put 5 on it. I mean, nothing too crazy. 5 gets you 35. So I'm going to place this. If you guys want to tail this, feel free to do so at betus.com. You guys want to take advantage of a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 and 125% on your next 2 deposits when you use the promo code YouTube150 when signing up at betus.com today. But there is more from BetUS, man. BetUS also has a casino. So if you guys are into slots or live casino dealers, BetUS has a special offer for you. When you sign up, you can receive a 200% sign-up bonus on a casino bonus up to $5,000 and 250% sign-up bonus up to $5,000 with crypto if you guys are into that. So claim all these bonuses and get going with all of the casino buzz at betus.com when you sign up today, man. So huge shout out to BetUS for sponsoring with us on this live stream. Just please gamble responsibly for Wild Card Weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you want to start, Rob? First of all, what's the chat saying? I know you guys want to see Fields. I want to see Fields as well. Let's get that out of the way. I want to see Fields as well.
Yeah, we made a discussion about it. That was at 12:50 in the morning, just an hour after the Steelers-Bengals game, just sitting down here, capturing our thoughts and going back and forth and just saying, you know what, let's hit record and just talk about, Justin Fields, right?
Yeah.
It's obvious that they're not going to go there.
No.
And we knew that, before even hitting record, right? But it still is what we believe should be the case. It's our opinion still on the situation because, honestly, where I want to start is Russell Wilson.
Okay.
I want to start with Russell Wilson because, the offense has not been great, obviously. They have not been able to score more than 20 points in the last 4 games, not even more than 17, let's be real.
Yeah, they've only scored 17 points as a high in their last 4 games, and they did that twice.
Yeah.
One of them last week. And keep in mind, the Ravens, they haven't allowed more than 17 in their last 4 games. The Ravens have won their last 4. The Steelers have lost their last 4.
Yeah.
So when you look at that factor and you look at what the offense has been doing and how slow they've been and how Russ has been unprotective of the football or, just how the offense is slow or they commit too much to the run game and they refuse to adjust, that's got to change. That all has to change, man. They have to have a complete different mindset, complete different game plan offensively for this game. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They cannot go in. Mike Tomlin cannot go into this game thinking he can do the exact same game plan like he tried versus the Bengals last week where he thought, oh, let's not give them the ball. Let's just run the ball all the time so that they don't get on the field. And when the run game doesn't work, he still commits to said run game, which continues with the failures, which is why the offense only had 91 yards of offense in the fourth quarter. Into the fourth quarter,
yeah. Yeah, he stepped away from what was working the first go-around with the Bengals. It worked. It led to Wilson's best game. It was a better game plan to match the energy of the Bengals offense that they knew.
So instead of going with what worked and what was successful and what was so fresh for this offense, he decides to flip the script and go backwards and do the complete opposite and be run-heavy. At one point, they ran it 20 straight. Well, not 20 straight, but they ran it 20 times compared to 12 passing plays. Which is why the offense was just so lackluster and weak.
Yeah, and
against a Bengals secondary that was one of the worst in the league, and they just fired their defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Steelers offense didn't even get 200 total yards.
So what is the Steelers' game plan offensively going to be for this game? I fear to know. But it's got to be a lot different. It's got to be tons better than last week because if we get something like last week, I'm telling you right now, this is going to be an exact repeat of the last couple playoff games that we've seen. And that's already my grandest fear. Because the Steelers, man, they haven't won a playoff game in 8 years. They've made 4 appearances, 5 if you include this year, but they've lost their last 5 playoff games. All of them, the defense and the Steelers have allowed 30 or more points. And that's the 2016 AFC Championship game versus the Patriots. That's the 2017 divisional game versus the Jags. That's the 2020 wildcard game versus the Browns. That's the 2021 wildcard game versus the Chiefs. And that's the 2023 wildcard game versus the Bills.
Yep.
And there's a lot in common with that. 30 points or more allowed in every single one of those games. What's also in common with those games is the offense starts very slow. Most of those games, they're down by 2 or more scores. They got to play comeback. Most of them, the majority of them, lead to blowout losses, and they are blowout losses. And one of the biggest errors about all those games that fears me for this game, because I got more, they turned the ball over. The offense turns the ball over numerous times. Ben turned the ball over numerous times in those games. And one thing you notice about every single one of those games, and it's the same script, it's the same result. It's almost like the same movie, just different cast members. But the one reason I bring up the turnovers mainly is because, one, that was one of the biggest reasons why we were so just weak in those playoff games. We kept turning the ball over. But I could say the same thing about the Steelers this season. Surprisingly, I searched this up just a couple hours ago because I knew the Steelers turned the ball over the last 5 or 6 games. And I said, you know what? Let me look deeper. Let me keep going backward to see how many games straight the Steelers offense was turning the ball over, or how many games straight has the Steelers overall as a team turned the ball over. The list kept going until I reached week 7. The last time the Steelers didn't turn the ball over was week 7 versus the Jets. Ever since then, they have turned the ball over in 10 straight games for 13 total takeaways or giveaways. And that's it. That includes Russ's fumbles, Russ's picks, Najee's fumble, Warren's fumble, Patterson's fumble, Calvin Austin's fumble. 13 total giveaways in the last 10 games. They've turned the ball over at least once in the last 10 games.
It just goes to show they cannot protect the ball to save their life. When earlier in the season, they were fabulous at doing so. They were fabulous at controlling the ball. That was when Justin Fields had to step in, right? That was when Fields was the starter before Russ was finally given the go to play, right?
Right.
But then their inability to protect the football is just horrible.
It's astonishing because the more I kept searching, the more I kept backtracking towards the season, I said, wait, how far is this going? Until I reached week 7 versus the Jets. And I thought, wow, we have really turned the ball over at least once in the last 10 games. Now, I will say the pick 6 to Cam Taylor-Britt versus in the first Bengals game.
Yeah, that was PI.
Never should have happened. So
PI.
I'll give him credit for that. And the Patterson fumble versus the Browns when they were up like 2 scores, never should have happened. But it's the principle of the matter that they can't protect the football. And if that were to continue in this game versus the Ravens, with how dangerous that has been for us in the playoffs in recent years, this could lead to the same result all over again. That's already the fear. But seeing how, first of all, the team has lost 4 straight, the offense can't start fast, they can't get points on the board, and they can't protect the football, that gives me every reason to fear for this game. Even though it's against the Ravens, even though the Ravens have only beat us twice in the last 10 games, even though this is a divisional game, and if there's games that the Steelers keep themselves within and can win the most, it is the divisional games. But they have to protect the ball. They got to start faster.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
They got to get a passing game going, and for God's sake, they got to change the game plan.
They have to start faster first and foremost. The slow starts have got to stop. It's been the common theme all season, but Jesus, Lord above, it is ridiculous. As a matter of fact, Jerry Dulick, he actually posted this tweet just a couple days ago. In the last 4 playoff games that the Steelers were in, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the first quarter, the Steelers have been outscored 56-0. That's just in the last 4 playoff games. Then you look at
the first quarter?
First quarter, all together.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. And you look at the continued trend and the common theme of them starting slow this season. I mean, it doesn't look great if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, it doesn't.
It just looks like it's just going to be another one of those things that's just going to happen once again when it comes to playoff time.
Right.
They just cannot start fast for some reason, but they have to find a way to start fast. That is not by running the football.
Knight Rider, I don't mean to cut you off. Knight Rider in the chat says 66-0 in the last 5. Are you talking about the last 5 games? Like last 5 this season? We've been outscored 66-0 in the last 5 games in the first quarter? Is that what you're referring to?
It says last 5 playoff games.
Was it last? No, what is Knight Rider discuss? Oh, the playoff games.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what he said.
God.
Yeah, but
Still,
even then,
though.
that's worse. I mean, that's just as bad. That is horrible.
First quarter of the last 5 playoff games. There you go.
The slow starts, man. And a big part of that is because, they try to establish a rushing attack because that's Tomlin's go-to. That's his method. That's always been his game plan is running the football first, trying to establish a rushing game early to control the clock.
Yeah, let's run the ball and rely on the defense to win us the game as if this is 1995. As if this is, back in even 2008. They didn't have the strongest running game, but they had a hell of a defense.
Yeah.
I don't know why he keeps thinking like that's successful in today's league. That's got to change.
It's
and the thing is, like those last 5 playoff games, we have had 3 different coordinators since. We've had Fichtner. We've had Canada. We have had now Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell the difference. I can't tell the fucking difference.
There is none.
The only difference with Arthur Smith is there's some eye form. There's under center. There's pistol. There's more tight end usage. That's it. Otherwise, the game plan is the exact same.
At that too.
Yeah, obviously. Matthew, who's been a member of 25 months, over 2 years now. Wow. Says, hopefully Tomlin finally wakes the offense up. You know, I read a report that apparently Tomlin is handcuffing Arthur Smith. I don't doubt that. I think Tomlin has a lot of input in what his coordinators do.
But why?
I don't know.
Why?
And the reason I believe that is because of what we just said. The last 3 coordinators we've had, it's been the same shit. It's the same game plan. It's the same result all over again. It's no different. Like, why? Like, how can you have so many coordinator changes in a span of years and nothing is advanced? Absolutely nothing.
No.
Is extra.
No, he promotes these guys, or in this case, hired Smith just for him to hold a title. If that's actually the case. Smith has his plays in there. He has his methods in there, right? He
calls the plays.
Yeah.
It's just Tomlin has the game plan and set, and he's like, go with this, instead of letting his guy run free. And the same thing for the defense, which is why the defense has been so weak lately and has been, especially in the playoffs, very lackluster. Very lackluster.
Against this Ravens defense, they cannot try and establish a rushing game. This is a Ravens defense that is number 1 at stopping the run.
Not only number 1 stopping the run, they have 6 turnovers in their 4-game win streak. The Steelers clearly can't protect the football.
No.
So I don't know what they got to do. First of all, they got to start faster, and they got to get a passing game going. They got Pickens back. He had a rough game last week.
3 drops.
3 drops.
One
one
catch, 0 yards.
I can't excuse Pickens for that. I can excuse maybe, or I can argue some of Russ's throws or whatnot, but his drops or where Russ gave him chances to make catches down the field and then Pickens going to come down with it, that's all Pickens. So it's not all Russ, clearly. It's all Pickens as well. There's no execution. Pickens got to be better in this one. 100%. Because he's the only legitimate receiver that's worth a damn on this team. No one else can really step up. Shout out to Calvin Austin. He's been that guy for the majority of the year, but no one else. Like, why are we having 4th or 5th stringers opposite Pickens?
We've got 2 words for you.
Jacob Frederick says, yo, Steel, I really don't see us beating Baltimore on Saturday because how we be playing. Do you guys agree with me? Go Steelers. I do.
Now, Jacob, shout out to you with $4.99. I feel the same way, bro. I feel the same exact way. It's just the way that we've been playing, the game plan. Again, it's just their inability to pass the football, right? Like, they have Pickens. He had a bad game, but they have Pickens. They traded for Mike Williams, but they don't want to play him. They'd rather play Van Jefferson, number 4.
Well, clearly they have a future Hall of Fame quarterback that is making questionable decisions, but can still sling it. He can still throw the ball down the field. Does he rely on it way too much? Yes. But can he throw the ball? Yeah. So can we scheme a passing game? The question is, and the big question I had with Arthur Smith when he came in is, he has never schemed a top 15 passing game. Still hasn't.
No.
So can he actually scheme a passing game? I don't know. Will Tomlin allow him if he is being handcuffed? That's the one thing they got to do. They are not going to win this game by running the football with Najee and Warren. It's not going to happen.
No, that game plan's got to be thrown out the door.
They got to throw the ball.
You're not going to win. You're not going to win playoff games running the football and relying on the defense. That is just not what's going to happen in today's age of the NFL. It is not possible.
Well, you're not going to win games with run pass patterns every fucking drive.
Let alone playoff games, bro. You have to pass the football. Russell Wilson will be the quarterback, no doubt about it.
Yeah, there was never any question about it anyway.
So we all know this. Russell Wilson will be the quarterback.
Muth has stepped up this year. Muth has had a very good year, in my opinion. He had his best game last week. He's had a couple really good games this year. He's getting in the end zone very often. He's one of the team leaders in touchdowns. Calvin Austin has stepped up. He's a deep threat. This Ravens secondary is weak. In my opinion, it is still very suspect. It's still very weak. I think the Ravens are still feeling the effects of the loss of Mike McDaniel or McDonald from last year when he left for the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
They're still feeling the effects. I feel like this Ravens defense has regressed. Can they get pressure? Can they get to the quarterback? Can they force turnovers? Yes. But do they give up plays? Do they give up points? Recently, they haven't. But are they capable? Yes. I think they're very vulnerable. This offense, I think, can get points on the board. The thing is, they got to get out of their own ass. They got to stop being stubborn. They got to stop being slow. They got to find a rhythm, and they got to find it early. Otherwise, guess what? You're playing catch-up all over again. And do we really want to do that? Do we really want to go down that pattern all over again? We've already done it for how many weeks now?
Yeah.
How many playoff games now? Are we really going to go through this again?
That's my fear. That's what I'm worried about.
They got to throw the ball. I mean, that's the best way I can put it. You got to throw the ball, and you got to throw it early.
But Tomlin's reason being is that running the football is less risky than passing the football. So, Tomlin, please explain to me.
You're not going to run the ball, or you're not going to win the game by being safe.
Please tell me that you're scared to throw the football. Well, actually tell me you're scared to throw the
So
football.
you're admitted to you're living in your fears. Got it.
Basically.
Got it.
That's basically what he said. It's less risky. There's always risk passing the football, but you can't shy away from it. You can't be scared about it.
No.
You brought in Russell fucking Wilson, who is a veteran quarterback. Has he been very off? Has he been very inconsistent? Yes. He hasn't been playing his best at all. He hasn't been cooking. But you cannot be scared. You cannot shy away from the passing attack when that's what you need to do in order to advance.
Renegade Dre. Steelers need to pass to set up the run. Exactly. Why do you think Najee had such a good streak right before the bye week? Remember when he had 3 straight 100-yard games? Because they feared the passing attack. They opened the passing attack, or they opened the run game with the passing attack. That way, the defense backs off. They're not stacking the box every goddamn play, and they're not expecting to run. They can fall. They could fall for the play action. Things open up that way.
I mean, just look at teams like the Ravens, for example, right? They set up the pass. Lamar's been capable of passing the football. That sets up the run with him and Henry. Look at the Lions. How dominant they are through the year. And then that sets up Gibbs and Montgomery. That's going to set them up throughout the playoffs.
Right.
Look at the Bills. Right?
It's a very good winning formula, but you got to have a passing attack. I know we have lack of weapons. I know we have an aging quarterback, but is this team capable? Yes, because they've shown it. I don't want to completely discredit that. They have shown it this season. They can get it done. They can do it. But they got to do it in this game. It's very important, obviously. They have no choice. They got to open things up. They got to get the ball to Pickens. They got to get the ball to Calvin early. Keep feeding Muth. Any other targets you want to get involved, find ways to get them open. Find ways to get the ball to them. Find ways to get guys down the field to get some blocks so we can get some chunk yardage. The Ravens are very capable of allowing chunk yardage, that's for sure. Just the offense got to open things up, man. I'm not expecting it. I'm expecting the exact same garbage we've seen for how many years now? Because, again, 3 different coordinator changes, and I can't tell the difference. I can't.
Yeah, and problems out the wazoo when it comes to the offense. Just everywhere. Unable to establish a run. Slow starts. Russ's inconsistencies. Receivers dropping passes or can't get separation.
And recently,
the offensive line just playing very, very bad offensive line play.
Yeah, especially Dan Moore. We got to talk about Dan Moore. Before we get into the Ravens offense, I got to talk about Dan Moore.
Get him out. I've been wanting his ass out, okay?
That's why we drafted Broderick. But Tomlin and the team elected to keep him as the swing guy. Why? I don't know.
Because they love Dan Moore.
What?
Dan Moore must have something on these guys in order for him to still be the starting left tackle. There's a reason why Omar Khan opted to trade up and draft Broderick Jones, and then this recent draft class in order to draft Troy Fautanu to work on the tackles, the franchise tackles, so to speak, right? Fautanu got hurt. He didn't play at all this year. Broderick, he's at right tackle. People have already labeled him a bust. I don't want to go down that pit yet. I really don't want to dip my feet into that pool yet until I see how he is at left tackle full time.
Agreed.
That's just the way I feel about Broderick. But Dan Moore is terrible.
I got some haunting information. Dan Moore has allowed 12 sacks this year. That's first in the NFL.
12?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, he wasn't this bad to start the year. What happened?
A typical Dan Moore season where he looks like he shows progression and then falls right back into the Dan Moore trap.
Yeah, Dan Moore's got to go after
and
this
Broderick,
season.
listen, he's not as innocent. He has done better in the second half. He's gotten healthier. He's only allowed 3 sacks in the second half of the season. He has gotten better, but he's also not completely innocent because the past couple games, they both have looked rough. And it's been hurting the offense. It's been hurting Russ and the quarterback play overall. So the O-line absolutely needs to come up big. I mean, it really does start with them. The O-line's got to be better. Mason McCormick, he's been a stud. He has a broken left hand. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Yep.
Yeah. Cordell Patterson accidentally broke his hand while trying to help with a chip block last week.
Yeah.
Now, there is optimism that he will play. He's optimistic he'll play. And he said that if he does play, he's not going to wear a brace. He's not going to wear a wrap or whatever on his hand. So we could be getting Mason McCormick. We know we need him. How much will his broken hand impact his game? Obviously, we don't know. He doesn't even know. I would imagine it would definitely affect him.
I'm sure it's a broken left hand. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, you're going to have to use it every play, every rep, every block. That's going to be a lot of pressure going up against them big-ass defensive linemen. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of pressure on that hand.
Travis Jones. I mean...
Namni Matabuke. Right?
Yeah, Matabuke,
Michael Pierce.
Broderick Washington.
Like...
We've got 2 words.
Renegade
for
Dre.
you.
Go deep first play to send the message. I wish.
No, we'll just hand it off to Najee.
Oh, yeah. First down, we'll hand it off to Najee. Second down, we'll hand it off to Najee.
By the way, I seen a stat on social media that they ran it on first down every play in the first half against the Bengals.
What?
Yeah, that's got to stop. Apparently so, yes. Every first down that they had, they ran it in the first half.
That can't be real.
I'm pretty sure I read that properly.
They are that basic?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's why they got to step away from the rushing attack. Because the offensive line ain't really doing the running game any favors anyway.
No, it's not.
They are just not opening lanes. They're missing their blocks, missing their assignments, miscommunication on that offensive line. Just not good.
Yeah.
Just not good overall. But just running the football is just, again, it's not what's going to set the tone. It's not.
No.
Passing the ball is what's going to set the tone.
Right.
Like, seriously. You have to pass the ball. You have to be aggressive through the air. And you have to be smart while doing that at the same time.
Well, you got to protect the football. I mean, when you pass the ball, you obviously got to protect the football because the turnovers, like I said, they've turned the ball over 13 times in the past 10 straight games. Our last 5 playoff losses have been mainly because of the turnovers early on, and that leads to blowouts, that leads to large deficits, that leads to the Steelers having to make a comeback, which is never even possible.
Nope.
We could go back down that pipeline. Not trying to do that. Offense got to be much better. Defense, man, before we get into the defense, I want to get into the chat, see how you guys are feeling. The update on the poll. People think that they'll only allow 20-plus points in this game. That'd be a new playoff low for the past decade.
It would be. And defense, man, we're going to need them.
Sure are.
We're going to need them. Like, against the Bengals, they tried their best. Like, they played their heart out.
Got to give them all the credit in the world.
Going up against the number 1 passing attack and the Bengals and Joe Burrow with Chase and Higgins until he went out, right? And Gesicki, him getting involved. Like, they did their best. They tried their damnedest to limit Burrow. They only limited him to 1 touchdown.
Yeah, 1.
And before that, Joe Burrow threw 3 or more touchdowns in 8 straight games before that. So, like, they did their damnedest. They did their best in trying to limit Burrow and his targets.
Right.
Like, they really tried. They only limited him to 19 points. You're probably thinking, wow, they only limited the Bengals offense to 19 points. Man, you're thinking, wow, the Steelers won.
No,
that didn't happen.
No, we didn't win.
So the defense, man, like, whatever energy that they had for that game, we're going to need it for this one against the number 1 ranked offense and the Ravens.
And arguably to be back-to-back MVP, Lamar Jackson. How about Lamar Jackson, huh? No, I mean this genuinely. Lamar Jackson has had an incredible season. His best season to date. 41 touchdowns. That's a career high by 7 touchdowns.
Honestly, when you look back at his MVP campaign years,
this is the best one.
This one tops both of them.
Easily. Far and away.
It tops both of them.
And you want to know why that is? And, not, tons of credit to Lamar because throughout the years he has progressed as a passer. I know a lot of people make fun of him saying, oh, he's a running back or quarterback. Is he really now? Does a running back throw for 41 fucking touchdowns and only 4 picks? Come on. Give him all the credit in the world. But a big reason for that is the OC move that the Ravens made last season.
Todd Monken.
They went with Greg Roman for a while, and he was solid. He led them to historic rushing numbers. When Lamar first got there, they had Mark Ingram in them. They had historic numbers, but it wasn't good enough because he couldn't scheme a passing game.
No.
With Lamar, they couldn't get a passing game going. So they let him go. He went to the Chargers this past season, but in the 2023 offseason, they went and got Todd Monken. And to think this guy, in his first 2 years, is about to make Lamar back-to-back MVPs.
Yep.
They were not complacent with Greg Roman. They went and changed the OC job to make sure that they were a pass-oriented offense.
No, they took a gamble. They took a gamble on making OC change because they wanted to get the best out of Lamar Jackson. Because beforehand, Lamar had never once thrown over 3,000 passing yards.
No.
Beforehand. He was in the league for like 5 years, something like that. His first 2 years with this new OC, Todd Monken, he's already thrown for over 3,500.
Yeah.
Just like that. This one he topped at 4,000, his first 4,000-yard passing season.
Yeah. So that's a testament to Lamar. That's a testament to the OC. And I'll be real with you, man. When I look at the Ravens offense, I don't think they really have a groundbreaking, game-wrecking receiver. And by that, I mean, I don't think they have like an elite guy. Shout out to Zay. Flowers is a dog. I don't know if he's elite yet. He just had 1,000 yards.
It's too early to say that he's elite, but
but
there's no doubt he's been a great hand since being drafted.
Sure,
by Baltimore.
his second year he had breakout numbers, but when I mean game record, I'm talking like a AJ Brown or Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase. They don't have that guy, but they got so many weapons that they can spread the ball to. They got 2 great tight ends. Bateman took a leap year this year. Zay Flowers had a breakout year. I mean, they got so many pieces on the offense they could spread the ball around. It speaks that the Ravens, they're just offensively dominant. And they've been very good at protecting the football. They can get points on the board clearly. And they got Derrick Henry this year, obviously, who had almost 2,000 yards for the second time in his career.
And it's just his first year as the Ravens running back.
79 yards shy, I believe. So this Ravens offense definitely terrifies me a little bit. The defense is going to have to come and play. Now, I don't know if Zay's going to play because I know he got hurt last week.
Yeah, he got hurt against the Browns. He went out pretty early in the game. What I heard that he is day-to-day with his injury. Now, I don't know what his availability is. I believe he has not practiced yet on the injury report. So his availability is probably very low when it comes to this game, which would be, I would say, a plus for the Steelers. But I still wouldn't sleep on any of the other targets that they got a wide receiver because Bateman stepped up, but also the utilization of the running backs in the receiving department, of course, the tight ends and whatnot. They just know how to spread the ball around. They just know how to get guys involved.
They do, but not having that speedster and that safety blanket for Lamar, not having that chemistry is going to bring down his confidence a little bit, especially if the Steelers bring the pressure and try to stop and slow down Henry, which they failed at in the last game.
Yeah, 162 yards, Henry ran all over us.
They had awful communication. They didn't have no answers for Henry, and they didn't have Elliott. What I noticed last week was the communication was better because they allowed the Bengals to only 19 points offensively. The communication was better. They got Elliott back. I think that's going to make a huge difference. I think we can contain Henry this time. I hope so. If not, then it's going to be a long day. But I think they have the abilities this time around to contain Henry and to get the ball into Lamar's hands, which is how the Steelers are going to have to win this game. The defense, the secondary is going to have to come up big. They can't be allowing these blown coverage. They can't be allowing these mismatches. They can't be allowing Lamar to cook out there. You know, everyone says that Lamar, the Steelers is Lamar's kryptonite. Well, a couple weeks ago, that wasn't really the case.
No, he threw 3 touchdowns.
But he still doesn't have a good record or a good resume against the Steelers, despite recent history. So the Steelers defense is going to have to come up big. They got to contain Henry. I think they got the tools to do it this time around. Them not having Zay is going to be huge because they will lack that field stretcher, that speedster, that chemistry for Lamar.
Right.
Maybe the defense can have themselves a stellar game, but the coverage got to be on key. They got to contain Henry as much as they can. They got to force the ball in Lamar's hands. They got to force the turnovers on Lamar. One thing about Lamar is every single game that he has started against the Steelers, he has turned the ball over at least once.
Yep. Yes, he has.
That has to be a reoccurrence in this game. The Steelers overall got to win the turnover battle. They can't turn the ball over, and they got to get the takeaways. That's first and foremost. That's how you win this game. That's how you beat the Ravens every single time. It's a turnover battle. Against Lamar, the defense has to come up and eat. And one guy I know for sure that is going to eat and that is going to be as ambitious and as hungry than he has ever been, his name is Trent Jordan Watt. This guy has not won a fucking playoff game yet. How is that possible?
No, as a matter of fact, doing a bit of research,
How is that possible?
he has played 4 playoff games. He has not won one. His brother, JJ, has been retired for a couple years now. He has a more recent playoff win, and that was in 2019.
Yeah.
Do you know what his head coach was? Do you know who his head coach was? Bill O'Brien. You're telling me Bill O'Brien, who is, by the way, the Boston College head coach, has a more recent playoff win than the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Wow.
You know how sad that is just saying that? How depressing that is? That is an actual fact. That is just fucking stupid.
That's unbelievable, actually. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That actually pisses me off a little bit.
Yeah.
TJ Watt, amongst everyone else on this team, deserves a playoff victory. He made it a statement earlier on this season during his earlier press conferences or whatever, his interviews. He said, it's no secret. I haven't won a playoff game since I've been here, so I'm a little hungry for that. I'm a little upset by that.
Oh, you know he's hungry because, like, for him to have the accolades that he does in the career already, his Hall of Fame career, just legendary career as a Steeler, and not even a playoff win to show for it.
Not a single playoff victory. I don't know how it's possible.
Not one.
So if there's one guy to do it for, it's TJ, because he deserves it. I don't know how close he'll ever get to a ring. You know, you look at Defensive Player of the Year that's represented the Steelers. You're talking Joe Green, Polamalu, Harrison, Jack Lambert. What do they all have in common? Super Bowls. TJ Watt didn't have a playoff victory.
No.
How close will he ever get to a ring under Mike Tomlin? I have my huge doubts. But this guy, man, deserves a push. This guy's going to be hungry. This guy is going to want to play in this game. I'm hoping Terrell Austin moves him around and allows him to be the difference maker that we need him to be. He has made plays against the Ravens many times before. So has Alex Highsmith. We need big games from those two. Hayward, he has had a stellar year. I don't know how he wasn't all-pro. He needs to have himself another great game. And, you know, he's as hungry as anyone else. He's a captain on this team.
As a matter of fact, in the Bengals game, he was actually under the weather with the flu. And he still had a great performance. Great game against the Bengals. You know damn well he is not missing this game.
No.
He could have a very severe case of the flu. He like, bro, I want to get out of there. If he was willing to play against the Bengals, he's willing to play in this playoff game. Whatever it takes to help this team win a playoff game, to win a game in general. That's just the type of captain Hayward is. That's why he is a captain.
That's why
Hayward will put his body, his life out there for this team because he bleeds black and gold. He wears that logo proudly on his chest.
It's the only
he will be out there.
It's the only logo he will ever wear, which is it's a rarity in this league nowadays. I appreciate that at Hayward. But, you know, those guys, those leaders, they're going to have to lead the defense. They're going to have to be hungry. They are going to have to do their job for sure.
Yeah.
I don't trust the offense. I don't really trust the defense either, despite what they did last week, because the secondary still sucks. We might get Dante Jackson back. Whoop-de-doo. The corners are still bad in coverage.
Yeah, very, very. I mean, they're left to fend for themselves. Now, for JBJ, you expect more for him to be a lockdown guy. That's why we drafted him, because he's more of a press man coverage guy.
But he's not really been locked down.
No, he hasn't. So, like, we don't exactly have a true coverage cornerback. And Terrell Austin, he just does so many single high safeties, which I understand because you're having Minka play deep back there just to prevent the deep ball from happening. But you're leaving these defensive backs, these cornerbacks, left to fend for themselves, like Corey Trice against Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
And then
in the red zone,
what do you expect to happen? You know what I mean?
It's awful coaching. It is awful coaching.
That's terrible.
So I don't trust this defense, but it all starts up front. Those are the guys I trust to make plays. Those are the guys I trust to create the turnovers. It starts with them. I don't trust the secondary. I don't trust Terrell Austin and his scheming in his soft zone and leaving guys out of position or putting guys in the wrong spot or whatnot. I don't trust that.
Yeah.
I trust the guys up front because they've made plays for us for the majority of the season. We're going to need them to make plays again. And that's how they're going to try to limit this Ravens offense. It starts with them. And I would anticipate a lot of them to be hungry. First of all, you got Watt. We already said about him. Alex Highsmith's made plays against Ravens many times. So is Hayward. Benton. I'm hoping to see more of him and what he can do. Ogunjobi. Queen.
Force Queen. But before that,
Eddie T with a 199 says Steelers are actually healthy going into the playoffs. They are. This might be the healthiest they've been going into the playoffs in a while. So I'll give them that. That's a good thing. Lord knows we need it because we got Elliott back. We got Pickens back. We might get Dante back. We need all that. But Patrick Queen, he went to the AFC Championship with this team last year.
Yeah.
Now he's going back to Baltimore with the enemy, with the Steelers.
In the playoffs.
He's going to play with a massive chip on his shoulder. What's the impact he's going to bring to the table? What plays is he going to try to make? You know, he's trying to play spoiler for sure, he's trying to play the end for the Ravens.
Of course.
Same thing with Peyton Wilson. He's excited. This is his first playoff game.
Of course, for him being a rookie, a stud rookie at that, already a starter for this team.
He made one of the biggest plays of the season.
Against the Ravens.
The
one-handed snagged interception off Justice Hill. Just incredible play by Peyton Wilson.
So I think the defense and their impact and the way they make plays, it starts with the front seven. I don't trust the secondary. I don't trust JPJ. I know they might not have Zay, but I still don't trust them. I don't. I can expect a couple deep shots, moon balls down to Rashad Bateman, since that's his best attribute, that's his best ability. Likely and Andrews have both scored on us this season. They both made plays all over us in the secondary this season. I don't want to sleep on them and their capabilities. They'll probably see more targets, or they just might get the ball to Derrick Henry a lot more because they're successful at running the ball. Last time, they were very successful. We got to prevent that. The defense has to prevent that.
We do.
To me, it really starts with coaching. It all starts with Terrell Austin. And I think the majority of us, I'll make that the next poll in the chat, the majority of us are not fans of Terrell Austin.
No.
He sucks. Now, at the same time, it's not all exactly him. He's more of a figurehead. He's just a nameplate for who is actually running the defense, which we all know is Mike Tomlin.
Yeah. Just seems to be the case. No matter if it's the offense or the defense, I mean, Tomlin is just a guy that just makes up the gameplay, just gives it to these guys like, hey, just run with it. These guys are basically holding these coordinator positions just for the sake of having them.
Well,
that's all they're for.
It's Tomlin's game plan. It's Tomlin's input, and he gives it to his coordinators. Simple as that. So, yeah.
But it's not really them.
No, I'm saying
it's not
they,
really
they
them.
are cuffed. Yes.
So,
but I don't think Terrell Austin is really a great coordinating coach.
No.
He's a good position coach, but he's not a good coordinating coach.
No, like there's certain roles for some coaches in the NFL. Sometimes they're just best fit for position coaches. Maybe they spread out and finally work out as a defensive coordinator. In this case, no, it still isn't with Terrell Austin.
No.
It's not. Even if it is Tomlin's, go-to game plan and whatnot, Austin still is not a good defensive coordinator.
No.
It just has not been panning out.
Well, I would also hope that we see some blitz packages in this game. I know we've been asking for that for a while, but in this game, that's for sure. You got to get to Lamar.
Got to pressure him. You got to get him on his ass.
Got to get him dirty. You got to blitz Lamar. Whether that's doing the double linebacker blitzes like you did last week, which is pretty successful. I think Queen got a strip sack last week. I would very much entertain that. You want to blitz Beanie? Please play Beanie.
No more Sutton. All right. We saw bad communication with Sutton last go around against the Ravens. I don't want none of that.
No, I don't want to see Cam Sutton in this game, bro. Play Beanie, please. Beanie's been making plays all season.
4 interceptions for an undrafted rookie.
What was that, second on the team behind Dante?
Yeah. I mean, it's impressive. It's impressive to say that. I mean, Beanie, just get that man playing. Blitz him a little bit if you need to. If you want to do some nickel blitzes. Push a linebacker back, you know what I'm saying? Push Queen back, Wilson back, whatnot.
Yeah, if they want to buff the blitz with Queen or Wilson and then blitz Beanie on the edge, I would be all for that. I think that's something they should definitely incorporate. Or just blitz Beanie. I noticed they blitz Sutton, but not Beanie. It's like complete opposites.
Yeah, Son was never, even when he was good in his first stint as a Steeler, he was never a good blitzer.
No, when he was that dime guy behind Hilton, when he would blitz, we're thinking, Hilton's right there. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like, Hilton, we all knew Hilton was a better blitzer. He was a pure slot guy. Sutton was just better as a coverage guy, just not anymore,
and now,
obviously.
And now I get the same vibe with Beanie. Beanie's nowhere near Hilton, or at least not yet, but he's perfect for that.
He can get down there. He's quick. He can get down there. He can fit through the gap. He can get to the quarterback.
He's a thumper. He's all about physicality and tackling. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you fit the role of a nickel corner in this scheme. So I'm hoping we see more Beanie. But it really all does start with coaching. And that's not just for the defense. That's for this entire team, for this entire game. Because coaching is what failed this team for the last number of years for the whole season, but especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I've always said the biggest difference between us and so many others in the elites is the coaching. Just watch the game, watch the execution of those teams, and simply just see what we've been doing the past number of years. And I know we keep going back to that, but that's exactly why we fear this game. The recent trend, the 4 straight losses, how we're going down, I would argue, the worst collapse in Tomlin's history, and a loss to the Ravens this Saturday night would confirm the worst collapse in Tomlin's career.
Yeah.
And what we've done in the playoffs the recent number of years. My question to you guys, and feel free to let us know in the chat if you defer or if you agree. Why should we expect anything different? Just because it's against the Ravens? Okay. You can go with that optimism.
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
if anything, like preparing for the Ravens.
Hold on, we got Nick. Nick in the chat with a 5. So Steelers fan from Georgia. Did you guys know Mike Hilton went to the same high school as Calvin Johnson? I did not.
No, that's news to me now.
Is that right?
That's new to me.
Really?
How about that?
Nice. That's actually really cool.
Fun fact of the day from Nick.
See, now I'm going to search that up.
All right. But,
Megatron, man. Megatron was different.
Yeah.
There's not many receivers like him anymore either. You know?
I mean, there probably never will be.
No, but I mean, like loyalty or quietness, where he just got on the field and, just balled out.
I mean, the one that sticks out to me today is Mike Evans.
Yeah, oh, especially.
But as far as new fresh guys, I mean, no one's really.
Like Calvin was one of the few receivers that wasn't a diva.
No, you had guys like Calvin Johnson. You had Larry Fitzgerald. You have Mike Evans, right? Like those guys are just down to earth and just
Even
loyal
Andre
to their fan
Johnson.
base.
Andre Johnson
as well, yeah. Just loyal to their to their teams, to that logo, to the fan base.
It's just it's a different breed now. I mean, I get receivers. There's going to be a bunch of them. They're going to be divas. They want the ball and they'll be upset or they'll want to get traded like Tyreek. And no, Tyreek is not coming to Pittsburgh. Don't start with that shit. It's not happening. Reek ain't coming here.
He already cleared the air with the GM.
Why would he want to come to Pittsburgh? Why?
Why would anybody want to come to Pittsburgh?
With this offense? Why?
Yeah, because Ayuk never wanted to.
No, he uses it as a bait.
Yeah, he never wanted to come to Pitt. Never. No, but
just want to say that out there. No, yeah. I don't want Tyreek. No, I mean Tyreek would be cool. Don't get me wrong, because we need that guy. But does he want to come here? No. I do not think Tyreek would want to be here.
Yeah.
So I'm not even gonna get my hopes up or even look in that direction. He wants to leave Miami? Fine. He can go to the Chargers. He can go back to the Chiefs for all I care. I don't know. But all I know is he ain't coming here.
Well, let's not have him go back to Kansas City. Let's not do that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's not do that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No.
But no, he's not coming here.
No. But yeah, as I was getting to, the Steelers preparing for the Ravens. When it comes to them preparing for a playoff game, if there's any team that I'm sure that they probably prefer to prepare for, it's the Ravens. One to get some revenge and try to get back at them and whatnot. But just because of they know the Ravens better than anybody,
right?
Better than any of their other division rivals. They know the Ravens, from head to toe. So preparing for them, preparing for a rival for a playoff game is probably a preferred method. But I also, at the same time, I also look back at 2020 when they were preparing for the Browns.
Yes.
Even after they just faced them, keep in mind, we faced them the week previously, and we lost.
If you're not down with that,
Good guy.
we've got 2 words for you.
Good guy Gus with the 499 says, went to the last Ravens game. We'll be going to this one. Hope both of y'all are safe and well. Hope y'all family and friends are good. Here we go. I'll call you Guy. Or I'll call you Gus. No, we appreciate you, man. And same to you. You went to the last one. Obviously, it didn't end in the result we wanted. And hopefully this one's different. We got a couple fans in here that's going to go to the game. So you guys enjoy the game, man. You guys travel safely. You enjoy yourselves. And apparently the weather, I hear it's going to snow. And then I see different reports where it's just going to be like chills and windy.
No, I've heard that it's forecasted in the area. I don't know if it's actually going to come down. We'll just have to wait till we see come Saturday night. But
I know there will be snow in the surrounding area and the surrounding states for Saturday. But is it going to be Saturday night? It's going to be Friday night into Saturday morning?
Well, the Steelers held practice actually at Heinz Field to get a feel because it was snowing in the Pittsburgh area earlier today, and they were practicing in that weather environment just to get a feel for it,
Right.
just in case, it does happen in Baltimore. So, which I'm all for. I totally understand that.
Oh yeah,
I don't mind them doing that.
They want to get accustomed to the weather. They don't want to be practicing in some facility like it's going to be, room temperature. It's not. Yeah,
No.
get out in the
It's
snow.
gonna be cold in Baltimore.
Get out in the snow. Get accustomed to everything. I like that for this week.
Yeah.
They want to get accustomed to the weather because they know it's going to be one of those games. It's going to be playoff atmosphere. I mean, this is what we're here for. This is what we're excited about. If you want to get excited about it.
Yeah.
This is playoff football. This is Steelers versus Ravens. We don't get many Steelers versus Ravens playoff games anymore. We used to. We got it many times in the prime years.
Yep.
2008, 2010, 2000, whatever, right?
14.
We got it so tightly in a small amount of years. Recently, not so much.
We've got 2 words for
Ty
you.
Kendall with a 5. So speaking of snow, have you guys gotten any? Where I live in Ohio, we've gotten 14 inches of it. Yeah, we got snow. What day was that? Monday.
Yeah, it was Monday, but it was like 2-3 inches, maybe 4 max.
I was in it all day.
It wasn't even that bad. I mean, it was just a dusting. That's what it was.
Yeah, but I was in it all day. It was not fun.
But 14 inches down. I know Ohio gets like really big snowstorms down there.
Yeah.
But 14 inches, good Lord.
I don't like the snow.
I like it when it comes around for the holidays. After the holidays, it can kind of go away.
I like it when I'm in my living room with the heat on, not a worry in the world. That's when I like it. When I'm outside and I got to work in it, I'll be the most miserable person you'll ever meet. I hate the snow.
Yeah.
I liked it as a kid for obvious reasons.
Yeah, snow days. I mean, snow days were the best day.
Snow days were awesome.
As an adult, it's like, why is
Not
it
a fan.
snowing?
Not a fan.
Yeah.
Like, why's it got to snow now? But I know there might be snow on Saturday. Apparently, it will be a snow game. I'm gonna bank on it being a snow game because that's the more that I'm hearing rather than the opposite. So
Yeah.
for a snow game, I know that both teams are probably gonna try to play the ground game. They're probably gonna try to run the rock, but I think this game is gonna have to be won with who has the best passing attack, and especially who can get on the board first, or which offense will call off the ball first. The Steelers cannot do that. The Steelers got to be safe, but as aggressive as they can, if that makes any sense. Pretty much, you got to open up a passing game, which will open up the run game for sure. They got to get points on the board. They got to start faster. The defense got to come to play. This entire team has to come to play. We do not want a repeat of what we've seen for the past 4 playoff appearances, the past 5 playoff games.
Yeah.
Seen enough of it. It's the same story all over again.
If you're not down with that,
Dan Garcia.
we've got 2 words for you.
Dan, great name, by the way. 1999 says Dan Garcia played in college with Brian Urlacher.
In New Mexico.
Is that right? I chatted with you fellas about 2 years ago, also a season ticket holder with Steelers. So here's the issue. Tomlin will ask the D to hold them to 17 or we lose. Well, I don't think the defense is going to be able to hold them to 17 points. I don't. Until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
Now, technically, that is the nature of the Steelers-Ravens rivalry. It's low scoring. It typically comes down to within a game-winning field goal, or it comes down to the wire. That's Steelers-Ravens culture. That's Steelers versus Ravens football. That's what I want to see in this game.
Yeah, that's the aspect of the rivalry, really. Just because of what happened last time, doesn't mean that.
Oh, it's going to be that again.
Yeah, I mean, like, when's the last time that 2 straight blowout victories happened? You know what I mean?
In this rivalry?
Yeah.
Regarding any team, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, neither could I.
I couldn't tell you. I would have to do some serious digging.
Yeah, so when it comes to the aspect, it's always close down to the wire. It's usually Tucker or Boswell getting their respective teams the win, basically.
Right.
Right? It really comes down to whoever coughs up the football or coughs up the football the most.
Well, these games are just naturally gritty, very defensive.
It's just the recent playoff trend and the history with the Steelers, the way that they look now, that they have been playing now, and just the many issues all over the board, all over both sides of the ball, really, from the coordinators to the player execution, and just painful football to watch.
Stressful Steelers football.
Why should we be convinced that it's going to be any different?
I can't find a way to convince myself. Although I throw out the optimistic factors, I throw out the fact that this is Steelers versus Ravens, and maybe that's going to make it different. Maybe that's what's going to keep the Steelers close. That's going to make the Steelers think and execute differently. God, I hope so. This is the Ravens we're talking about. And the thing about the Ravens in the playoffs is they haven't reached where they obviously want to go. The farthest they've reached with Harbaugh and Lamar is the championship game last year where they ultimately lost to the Chiefs. But the Ravens are capable of going deep into the playoffs. They are a playoff-worthy team. They are, I would argue, a Super Bowl-worthy team. Like, this isn't just some Ravens team scotch off to the side.
This is a team that fought their asses off, played their asses off for the last 4 games to win the last 4 games and to claim the division. They were not effing around.
This is a team and a coaching staff that knows how to win and that knows how to make a playoff push. While we are stuck with a coaching staff that struggles to win a playoff game.
Yeah. And yeah, the Ravens played lesser competition, less tier teams and whatnot, right? But I mean, like,
yeah, they faced the Browns, they faced the Texans, they faced the Giants, they faced us.
I get it. You know, the rest of their schedule was basically easy peasy, right?
Oh, it was a preseason schedule, essentially.
I get it, I understand, but the Steelers aren't exactly looking any different from those teams.
Yeah,
at least performance wise. The only difference is, hey, they're a playoff team.
Yeah, we're a playoff team.
They have double-digit wins.
Yeah, we're a playoff team. They weren't, but we still can't get points on the board. We can't start fast. We can't execute.
We can't protect the ball.
The team has to be better.
Yeah.
Like all these issues happening at the end of the season is the worst case for the Steelers. This is happening at the worst possible time. And the Steelers don't have a lot of time to fix it.
No. Drew! Shout out to Drew.
We got Drew and Dan real quick. Come on, Ben. Come on.
If you're not down with that, we've got 2 words for
We'll start off with Drew Mills with a 199. Chris Boswell's Super Bowl MVP. You heard it here first.
Drew, I love it.
As a matter of fact, Boswell, he's the NFL scoring leader this year out of every other player.
That doesn't surprise me.
I think it was 154 points. Chris Boswell. God. Yeah, he kicked over 40 field goals.
And he was an all-pro along with Miles Killebrew.
Well deserved.
So good for them.
Well deserved.
Cam Hayward should have been a part of that.
Thank God for Chris Boswell.
I know. And Dan Garcia with a 1999 says, another note, Brian's son is a freshman at Notre Dame. Look out for him. He's a killer safety. I'll send you guys some game tickets next year to a Steelers game. I follow you guys because you know the game. Mad respect. Dan, we appreciate you, man.
Shout out to Dan, man.
Same thing to Drew. You guys are great. I'm going to search it up now because of the bloodlines. I mean,
yeah, that's a Steeler thing, you know. Like that's
you really played ball with Brian Urlacher.
Yeah, he played.
That's sick. Urlacher was one of my favorite players growing up, man.
Yeah, came out of New Mexico. Yeah,
that's insane. That's really cool.
Just old school, man. That's what Urlacher was all about.
Urlacher was a stud. I mean, they didn't stop Jerome Bettis though. They didn't stop Jerome Bettis in that season.
No, Bettis definitely got the upper hand on that one, thankfully.
Let me see if I can find them. Let's see. Urlacher has 2 daughters, Pamela and Riley, with ex-wife Lori Urlacher, and a son, Kennedy, with Tyna Robertson.
Okay.
Kennedy Urlacher, like his father, has become a standout football player in high school and currently plays for Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who I believe they play Penn State tomorrow.
Do they?
I'm keeping an eye for him. Dan, just because you said that, I'm keeping an eye for him.
Just search up the name. Kennedy Urlacher.
That game's tomorrow, right?
He's number 23. That really is his kid.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. How long has he been there? Is he new?
I don't know. Search it up. Is he a freshman?
Oh, he's a freshman, yeah.
Dan Garcia with a 499.
He's a freshman.
His sister and me going to have a baby daughter, so yes, search the Notre Dame roster. He's a beast kid. Is that right? Wow.
For real, Dan.
Holy shit. Look at you, Dan. Hell yeah.
Yo, shout out to Dan Garcia, man.
Yo, not many people that can say that. Like, I don't think you understand the magnitude of that honor. I think that's fucking awesome, dude. Wow. Yeah, I'm definitely watching the game tomorrow. I'll definitely keep an eye out for him.
Yeah, number 23.
I'll definitely keep an eye out. That's for sure. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Is that game tomorrow? Is that game tomorrow in Miami? What time is that game? Because I'm watching at 7:30. Okay. I'll be watching.
All right, perfect.
I will be watching. May or may not be putting some money on it, but I will definitely be watching.
I would hold your
It's
horses.
the college playoffs.
I would
man.
hold your horses on that. Just wait for the playoffs.
It's the college playoffs, man.
You don't need to do that.
This game's gonna be
You don't need to do
gonna be intense.
Yeah.
Penn State's looking good. Notre Dame's looking great. Game ends by Arthur Millette game-winning interception. Says electric visuals. Now, why would you wish that?
Well, Millette's on IR. Has he been practicing?
I don't know. I haven't.
Because those would be the odds.
I haven't followed Millette since he's been off the team. So
He's on IR. When did he go on IR? A month ago. Yeah, there's no way, right?
I don't know. He could be back.
I don't know.
Another guy that could be back. I'm not going to put too much stock into it. Is maybe Roman Wilson, maybe Logan Lee, maybe Cole Holcomb. And the reason I say that is because they were full participants today. In fact, they've been full, I believe, all week.
I know Roman was full all last week, but he was already declared out. So this week.
They've both been full all week. Their 21-day window to return is still open. I don't know if they'll activate any of them before this game. They're probably hoping that they make a push and they can activate them for maybe the divisional round. The thing is, they would have to make 3 roster cuts to make room for them, for either of them. I'm not saying all 3 of them are going to get called up at the same time. They're not. All 3 aren't going to get activated at the same time. But maybe they bring a guy like Holcomb back if he's ready to go. Maybe Roman Wilson. The thing with that is, how much playing time are they going to see? I'm not going to put too much stock into it.
No, I mean, like, Wilson hardly got playing time when he first came back from his injury.
But the good news is that they're getting the full health, and no matter what the result of this game is, they will be fully healthy, please, knock on wood, for next season. We're going to need them.
Yeah.
We're going to need Roman to step up as a 3 or 4. Holcomb in the mix is going to be great. I mean, that linebacking core is just, it's already full of studs. Now imagine him in the rotation.
Yeah.
Logan Lee, we need more youth on the defensive line. We haven't seen him all season. You know? Same thing with Ryan Watts. He was another rookie I was looking very forward to seeing this year. He got hurt early on in the preseason, unfortunately.
Yep.
So he's going to be back next year. We get more depth there. So just want to throw it out there. So something to look forward to for next year. And unfortunately, I have a bad feeling we might be talking about next season come next week. Obviously, I hope I'm wrong. I want a playoff victory. I want to win. I want to beat the Ravens. I want to send them home. I want to move on. Granted, I know we'll have to play Buffalo, but I still want to win.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, at the end of the day, that's the goal, right?
I never wish a loss.
Dan Garcia, shout out to Dan Garcia again this time with a $9.99.
Go ahead and read it.
Says, one more note, I'll try to bring Brian on the show
Oh my
next
God.
year. To chat on your show someday or another NFL guy, easy. I know some dudes. My buddy in Maryland is buddies with Lamar and some other NFL
Look at you with the
guys.
connections, Dan. Hell yeah. So you got to get a Dan in your life. I'm telling you, man. Dan's are awesome.
Yeah, get a Dan.
I'm saying.
I got this Dan here.
Dan, that's awesome.
Shout out to Dan Garcia, bro.
That's cool. You got all those connections. That's really awesome. Not many people can say that. Not many can preach that. So shout out to you. Shout out to you for all the super chats and the continued support. As with all you guys, man. Even on the preview. Appreciate you guys. Almost 100 likes. 260 you guys in here. Can we get 100 likes? And where's the poll at? Do you guys like Terrell Austin as DC? 140% of you guys voted. 82% say no. I don't blame you. I don't blame you guys at all because I don't like him either.
I don't really like any of the coaches. I don't. The thing about it, mainly the coordinators. And the thing about it is I don't expect change to happen.
No, because...
And we've been saying this for weeks, but I'm just, reiterating it. It's just, I don't expect Smith to leave because he's garnering interest from
the Bears and the Jets.
Yeah.
Please take him. I am begging you. He is a good coach. You have nothing to worry about. He definitely won't run the same play 7 times, which leads to the same result. I promise you, he's a good coach.
I think Breece Hall could do wonders with an HB toss.
Don't forget or don't remember what happened in Atlanta. That's ancient history. It never happened. Take him, okay? Please. I want you guys to succeed. Take Arthur Smith.
Let's be real. That's not happening.
I know it's not.
That's not happening.
They got better options out there.
So I don't see any of the coordinator changing. I don't. I don't really see much of this staff changing, at least initially.
Me neither. Terrell Austin got extended. Tomlin got extended. Arthur Smith is generating interest, but how likely is he to get a head coaching gig? We don't know.
Unless it's
I'm going to predict not.
Unless it's an opportunity where he just cannot skip out on. But then again, it's like he has this opportunity here. He has his job here.
Remember, there was interest from, I forget what college team, but there was interest from them as well.
Oh, it was North Carolina, but like here, he turned that down immediately.
Yeah.
So.
Well, now he's getting a head coaching job potentially in the NFL. I mean, it's a lot better.
And plus, North Carolina, they got Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
So it's like they kind of got.
Well, I heard there's talks Belichick might come back to the NFL.
He just agreed to 5 years in North Carolina. He ain't coming back. He's making recruits.
Just say psych.
He ain't saying psych.
Crossies.
Bro, he went back home to North Carolina. Belichick ain't coming back. He's not even going back to New England after they got rid of Mayo. It's not happening.
Which I thought they did him dirty. And I'm expecting Vrabel to be the new head coach if it's not Ben Johnson.
Yeah, by the way, did you hear what Robert Kraft said? It was like the hardest decision he made in his life. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And he's made a lot of bad decisions in his life.
Yeah, very dumb ones.
We all know. He's not a saint. That's all I'll say. Arthur Smith's going to have to call the game of his life if he wants a head coaching job. That's what I'm saying. You know what? Maybe that might lead to the best offense we've seen all season. And if that's the case, please still take him. I'm not expecting it, though.
No, neither am I.
But pretty much what you're trying to say is you're not expecting much change.
No. I mean, like,
does that relate to this game or like after the season?
In general, both.
Okay.
Because there just hasn't been. There's been changes on paper. New OC, new quarterbacks, different plays added, right? Different concepts, so to speak. But the sole principle of it all is there's no difference.
Knight Rider.
We've got 2 words for you.
Knight Rider with a 10 says, I think losing Smith would further stunt Fields' development. Having to switch schemes and coaches as many times as he has is not good. I don't disagree because Fields has already made it known. He doesn't want to switch coaches. He doesn't want to switch schemes. He's tired of learning new schemes. That's a big reason why, unfortunately, he's sitting behind Russ.
Yeah.
So you're not wrong, Knight Rider. I actually agree with that, which is why I don't think Arthur Smith's going to go anywhere. And I'm hoping a reason for that, or that reason, is going to bring Fields back next year as the starter.
I hope so.
That's what I'm hoping. He's not going to start this game.
I would like to see him incorporated in the game, though.
Yes, for sure.
Because we didn't see any of that against the Bengals, and I don't know why.
Well, every week Tomlin says, "Yeah, I mean, we're going to entertain some Justin Fields packages," and we don't even see him on a camera cut on the bench.
No, we don't. I'm not saying they got to use him 25% of the snaps. I'm not saying that, but like on an occasional proper, like the 4th and 1.
Perfect.
The 4th and 1 when they gave it to Warren but didn't make it. Why did they not substitute Justin Fields in there?
Perfect. Is Kelsey better than Gronk?
If you're
I don't think so.
down with that, we've
Yeah,
got
that's
2
arguable.
words for
But
you.
Dan again with another $9.99. Appreciate you, Dan. Says, I've shared this opinion for 8 years now. Mike Tomlin won't win a Super Bowl with his own men. He won with Cowher's men. Sorry, Mike can't compete with the Andy Reids of the game. Doesn't have the offensive mindset.
absolutely, Dan. I mean,
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I mean, we stated after that Texans blowout last season during C.J. Stroud's rookie season that as long as Tomlin's head coach, Steelers never win another Super Bowl under Tomlin.
No.
And I still feel the same.
We still stand by that. We have never deferred away from that, and we still are feeling that way because I've given him the benefit of the doubt many times, and I tried again earlier this year because I had a feeling, I had a sense, legitimately, that I thought this team was different compared to years past. I thought this team was better. I thought this team was different. I know for a fact this team is a lot better than what they've shown the last 4 weeks. I know for a fact this team, when they're on their A game, can win a playoff game. But despite all the changes, new DCs, new OCs over the years, new quarterback, whatever, it's all the same. Nothing changes. The offensive game plan doesn't change. The defensive mistakes are reoccurring. Nothing changes for the better. The way the season goes, the collapses, all over again. The playoff games, what we've seen in the past number of years. Repeat after repeat after repeat. And unfortunately, I'm expecting the same for this game versus the Ravens.
And not just this game, but as long as Tomlin's here.
There's just no change. It's the same movie every year, and I feel like we say that every year.
Up until at least the 2027 season, because that's when Tomlin's new contract is done. And I would have
hopefully
to,
his last.
Fingers crossed it's his last. If Art Rooney finally goes to Brian, Art Rooney the second at that.
Right.
But this regime has just gotten conditioned to
Mediocrity.
what Tomlin is known for.
Mediocrity.
Just winning seasons.
No, they think the way they're winning now, and hey, we made it into the playoffs, they think that's good enough. That's not good enough. You have lowered your standards. You have lowered your victories.
Yeah.
Just this.
Let's excuse the late season collapses and the constant losing streaks in December for how many years now? 3-4 years now? And then just losing 5 straight playoff games. 4 straight one and done.
Drew, I apologize for the cousin. Sorry.
3 in the wild card, right? Like the constant one and dones in the playoffs and just the failures toward the tail end. But just because he gets another winning season, it's just all fine and dandy. Sunshine and rainbows.
And that's why
cinnamon buns.
And that's why nothing has changed for the past 8 years.
And unfortunately, because of that, I don't expect it to. Not for
until proven otherwise.
Yes, for this game and for next season and seasons down the road.
Dan, bro. Dan with a 999 says, I have been to so many games with Tomlin as the coach that I'm literally sick of going, but I love Pittsburgh fans because you can't pull wool over their eyes. Steelers fans know football, period. And Steelers fans are loyal, man. Steelers fans are very loyal. They've been through, I can't really say they've been through a lot the past 20 years because they haven't. We haven't had a losing season since 2003. But we have seen some rough losses. We have seen some blowouts. We have really gotten down to, I would say, a new low in Steelers history when it comes to the playoffs. Obviously, the seasons lead to winning seasons and we make the playoffs. But in terms of the losses, I'd say this is a new low in Steelers history. We haven't been this bad in the playoffs. We haven't had this bad of a playoff run in 50 years.
Since before Franco made the play of a lifetime,
Like
the
this-
Immaculate Reception.
This is the worst run of playoff games we have witnessed in a long time. And I don't expect change. Obviously, I hope for change. I want to be hopeful for this game. But until proven otherwise, I just can't expect it.
Like, you know what I want? You know what I really want down to my core? What I want to see a pissed off Steelers team. Go on the road, go into enemy territory, literally enemy territory, a rivalry at that against the Ravens, and just end their season a lot sooner than they're anticipating. And Lamar's MVP season a lot sooner than they anticipate. Yeah, you won 4 straight games, won them against us. You stole the AFC North division from us. Yeah, great, congratulations. But now we want to smack you guys and punch you guys in the mouth.
Right.
Square in the face. We want to end your season. Because we have lost 4 straight. This is not up to our standard. This is not up to our pedigree, to our culture. We're pissed off.
See,
I want to go into Baltimore and knock these guys out. Even
You know,
in a competitive fashion, even if it's close down to the wire like Steelers Ravens tends to be. I want to end these guys' seasons straight up.
and that is the goal. That is the mission. That is the statement to be made for Saturday. But what you just said about culture and all that, I got a new name for it. Instead of Steeler culture, might as well be Dan's culture. Dan Rooney. Now we're in arts culture. We're in arts.
This team has never been the same since Dan Rooney unfortunately passed away.
Yeah, it hasn't. It hasn't.
Once that man unfortunately passed away, his son, Art Rooney II, in the Rooney name, he took over this foundation. He took over this organization, and it's just been a lot worse. It just has.
Well, I don't want to say it's definitely gone downhill. Record-wise, it's manageable. But is it where we want to be? No. You know what I mean? So this year, I don't expect anything different. I want to win this game. I'll give them this. I'll give the Steelers this. If there's one opponent for them to face in the playoffs, it's the Ravens. It's an AFC North team because that's who they compete against the best.
Right.
But we need to see the best from the Steelers this week. They have no choice. Otherwise, if this is going to become another reoccurrence of what we've seen the past couple of years, then that's exactly what I'm going to expect until Tomlin is officially out of here. And that's not going to be until his contract runs up or his next contract runs up, whenever that's going to be. I want to be wrong. I want the Steelers to win. Don't get me wrong. That I'm just being 100% brutally honest with you guys. As a Steelers fan, I've watched every single game since 2014. I have seen the same story the past 8 years. Although it's against the Ravens, I'm expecting a loss. I'm expecting this, which is why the sign is up. And I hope we're wrong. I hope we look foolish for this. Truthfully. That's all I want at the end of the day. That's what I want at the end of Saturday night. I want to be happy. I want to be ecstatic. We got our first playoff win since 2016. Let's go. Here we go, Steelers. That's what I want. That's all I want.
That's all I want, man. At the end of the day, it's all I want. I want a playoff victory. It's been far too long for our standards. Far too long for that.
Yeah.
And I want it in convincing fashion. I want it in competitive fashion. I want them to showcase that they can make a playoff push. But ultimately, I don't believe that because of their recent trend, their recent history, their recent performances.
Yeah.
I just don't believe it. I cannot convince myself, or nobody can convince me that they stand a chance. That's just how I firmly believe. I'm just being upfront honest with you guys. Because the last thing I want to see is another one-and-done blowout performance.
No one wants to see that.
If we see that, man, like, it's just our worst fears come to life.
Yeah.
We've seen enough of that.
If you're not
Dan.
down with that,
Dan, you're on the money.
we've got 2 words.
Literally,
for you.
Dan.
Good, read that.
The standard for us isn't a winning season every year. It's championships, period. And I agree. Go to Baltimore and smack them in the mouth, period.
Yes.
Damn straight.
That's how this team has to wake up on Saturday. That's how this team has to. That's the mindset they need to be in when they travel to Baltimore. When they get on that field, when they see whatever the Ravens fans, Raven Nation, whatever they are, when they see the Ravens fans, when they see Steeler Nation, because Steeler Nation's going to be all over the stadium as well. You know, never an away game, always a home game, right? Like when they're on that field and they see the atmosphere and they know the magnitude of this game, they got to take that into their mindset and go in with a sense of, I want to win this game.
Yeah.
Let's win this game. Let's beat this team. They beat us weeks ago. Let's end their year. They took the crown from us. We gave them the crown. Now let's take their seat. Let's take their spot in the playoffs.
Damn straight. That's what I want.
That's the mindset they need to be at, man. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Digital Dust says a real franchise quarterback would help our chances. For sure. 100%. I don't know when that's going to be, but yes, I agree. I would hope with a better coordinator for sure, but those two kind of mix together. Paper Portal says, unless Russ goes on a great playoff run, the Steelers need to get a good quarterback. You're not beating Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Stroud, Herbert, and Burrow in the playoffs with subpar quarterback play. Exactly.
Not happening.
You're not.
No.
Like, you got to compete with the best in the league. It's a passing league, and you look at the quarterbacks that have been to Super Bowls in recent years. MVP caliber guys. Studs. The best in the world. The best in the entire league. We're not reaching that area with what we have. I don't even think Fields can do it, and I want Fields to start next year. But maybe Fields can prove me wrong with how he is sat under Russ for however many weeks now. Pretty much sat under a whole year.
Yeah.
He pretty much sat. He started the first 6 games, but he essentially sat under Russ and learned from a vet, from a great football mind. Plus, if you look at it from the draft class and everything in free agency, Fields is probably our best option because we're not trading up for Sanders or we're not trading up for Ward. It's not going to happen. Plus, we have so many other issues we got to fix. And I think Conn understands that. That's why he went after 2, hopefully, franchise tackles in Fatanu and Broderick. He's trying to build the trenches. He's trying to fix the secondary before going all the way around and finally clicking on his quarterback. Where that was trading a 6 for Fields, where that is grabbing their guy in 2026 in Pittsburgh physically, time's going to tell. But I agree. I agree with what you guys said about the quarterback situation. Arthur Smith looks like John Candy.
You shave off the mustache. Yeah, I can't.
He looks like, what's that movie he was in? It's like a Christmas movie.
Which one?
Not Home Alone. It was Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh. That one?
Yeah, you know how he has the mustache in there?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's uncanny, right?
Holy crap.
It's uncanny.
Arthur Smith don't have dark hair, do he?
I don't know. He always wears a hat.
He got gray hair, white hair, whatnot?
He's going to give me gray hairs, that's for sure.
Yeah. Like, if John Candy had gray hair and whatnot, then yeah.
W. Travis. Should we trade up for Terrian McMillan? How much would it cost? You're talking the receiver in the draft, Ted McMillan. I'll be honest with you, bro. I like Ted a lot. I think he's a stud, and there's a lot of stud receivers in the draft, man. I like Ed Muka. I like Restrepo from Miami. I like the one cat from what college is that? I think Stanford. I think A.O. Manor. I believe that's where he's from. But trading up for a receiver, I don't know about that. I don't know if the Steelers are capable of trading up for a receiver. I know we need receiver, and it's very likely Pickens is going to walk. But trading up for a receiver, do they have the capital to trade for that?
They got the money to pay for a wide receiver, to sign a wide receiver.
I don't know.
Ultimately, right now, I would just say just fix wide receiver in free agency.
I would too.
The market that they got, coming in right now, more names could be added with some cap casualties and whatnot.
Yep.
That's yet to be seen. But, I mean, I just look at wide receiver in free agency and just try to sign one of the top guys.
Yeah, Higgins or Godwin mainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Bond from Texas as well. I also like Burden, Luther Burden from Missouri.
Yeah.
Receiver, there's some studs at receiver, man. I would much prefer us go after one in free agency. The Steelers were willing to pay Ayuk. They can, for sure, be willing to pay Higgins. Higgins might cost maybe a little more, but is it worth every penny? Yes. You want bully ball? You get Higgins. Him and Pickens.
Yeah.
How do you stop that?
I don't think you can.
Where do we rank on playoff win droughts? Now, Drew, are you talking about like in terms of current teams? Like who has the longest playoff win drought? Who holds that?
If
Is
you're
it the
not down with that,
Dolphins?
we've got 2 words for
Handy
you.
Carmectin with a 199 says still Super Bowl. Wait, never mind. Remember who our coach is.
Yo.
That's funny.
You're
You're not wrong though.
Oh, let me see if
Yeah,
I
if
can.
you're talking win drought, like you talking like what teams have the longest win droughts currently?
Longest NFL playoff droughts. Let me see if this is even right. I don't know.
Who holds it now? Isn't it the Dolphins? No, it's the Jets. I think the Jets. Yeah, I think they have the longest playoff win drought. Pretty sure it's the Jets.
Well, the Steelers are definitely up there because they haven't won one since the 2016 season. They definitely got to be up there.
No, I'm right. Yeah, okay, so it was the Dolphins. The Dolphins are first. They haven't won a playoff game since 2021. Wow. The Raiders are next. They haven't won a game since 2023, followed by the Commanders. That could change this Sunday. I'm betting on it. Bears, Jets, Cardinals, Panthers, Broncos, Falcons, then the Steelers. So the Steelers are kind of like
In between.
Yeah. So they're essentially tied with, I want to say, the Panthers and Broncos.
If you're not down with
So
that,
we're top 10.
we've got 2
Not that
words
bad.
for you.
It's not that bad.
Jason Holland with a 5. He says Najee needs to grow some balls. Warren is all fight. Boswell is like clockwork. Please, Pittsburgh have Fields ready to go. And Steelers defense, please get us a W.
Can only help, right?
Shout out to Jason Holland.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound like 8 years is too long because we haven't won a playoff game since 2016 season. It was against the Chiefs. We didn't score a touchdown in that game.
No, Boswell is the one that got us the win for that one.
I think that last playoff game was symbolic of what we had to endure for the next 8 years, and we didn't even see it coming. It's like they were warning us or something. The universe has a weird way of laughing at us. But it's been 8 years, so it's not that long. It's long in terms of the Steelers.
It's been almost a decade.
I know, like we're not used to this.
I mean that is long in my eyes.
I forget.
For Steelers standards, for them still getting winning seasons within that span, but to not get a playoff victory within that span.
I know.
To me, I consider that long.
Well, I think
based off the pedigree.
I think since Franco's immaculate reception, prior to this playoff drought, our longest playoff drought was like 4 or 5 years of not winning a playoff game, which isn't too long.
No,
But now we're going on what could be 8 years now.
Yeah. I mean, we're almost doubling. We're almost doubling what previously was our longest win drought.
Yeah.
I mean,
Michael, unfortunately, yes. And Drew could tell you. He can confirm in the chat. Yes, we do. It's not fun.
I do know the last time we won, we had 6 different quarterbacks that season. Well, 2016?
Wait, what?
No, it was Ben, obviously.
Landry played a couple games that year, right?
Don't remind me of that dude.
Remembers Landry Jones, huh?
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, what was it? Yeah, it's been 2017, 2018, 2019, 20, 21, 22, 28. Yeah, we're going on, almost 8 years. If we lose this Saturday night, it'll be 8 years. We haven't won a playoff game. And awful enough, it all started after we drafted Watt. The year we drafted Watt.
jeez. Yeah, the quarterbacks we had on that roster was Big Ben, Landry Jones, and Zach Mettenberger. Anybody remember him? The other burger?
Zach Mettenberger?
Yeah, former Titan.
I remember him.
Yeah. He wasn't good.
A close loss against Ravens will be another win for Mike Tomlin, being 10-point underdogs against a superior Ravens team with 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson. He's about to be 3-time. Who do you guys think should win MVP, man? In fact, let me put that as a poll in the chat. Because obviously it's between the 3
How many are you
quarterbacks.
going to put up there?
4.
4? All right. Well, we're looking at Lamar, Burrow, Josh Allen, and Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
Those are the 4 that we are looking at.
I'm all for Barkley, but I know it's going to go to a quarterback. If it's going to go to a quarterback, I really think it's going to go to Lamar. Especially if he takes the Ravens far enough. But that's a new poll in the chat. Who wins MVP this year? Because, I mean, that's going to be announced shortly. Or the night before the Super Bowl or something like that.
Visuals says give it to both, but I think Allen is more valuable to his team, in my opinion.
Yeah. What was the last time there was a co-MVP?
I know Steve McNair won it. What was that, 2002? Was it? Maybe it was sooner.
Last time the NFL had co-MVPs was 2003.
That was close.
Peyton Manning and Aaron McNair.
Damn.
Aaron McNair was a time.
He was.
He was a stud in his prime, bro. It sucks he didn't have the longevity. He could have been a Hall of Famer. Arguably, he could be a Hall of Famer. He didn't have that long of a run, you know. We have changed every single thing on the Steelers since 2016 except for one thing. You guess what? Chris Boswell. I thought you had me in the first half. I'm not going to lie, Drew. I'm not going to lie.
Why'd you put the T at the end of that? I was like, thought you were going to go with Tomlin on that one. No, Boswell, yeah.
I thought he was going to say Tommy Maddox.
No.
He's still waiting for his job back.
He ain't getting that job back.
Just saying.
You can try out for the UFL if he really wants to.
Chris Boswell for MVP. He has my vote every year. I think he should have won Steelers MVP this year. If I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was given to Watt, understandably so. Voted by the players themselves, but I mean, there was one year for Boz to win. It was definitely this one.
You act as if Tomlin catches and throws the ball. You don't say Ben helped lose us the Super Bowl. You say Tomlin, but Ben threw picks. I literally said the past couple playoff games, we were turning the ball over. Who's responsible for that? Ben. I said that early on in this live stream. I do blame Ben. I blame Ben for that Browns loss. He threw 4 picks. The reason we were down so much is because he turned the ball over. I do blame him.
He wasn't exactly protective of the ball against the Jaguars either.
I blame Tomlin a lot because he's the one that prepares his team. But is he the full blame? No, that's not fair. That's not fair. I blame him for the defensive mistakes. But in terms of turning the ball over, no. I mean, he's not exactly responsible for that. No. But for him allowing 30 points in the last 5 playoff games, come on.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one that runs the defense. Everyone in their
he's the common denominator in all this.
everyone in their sister-in-law, baby cousin Tracy knows that.
Yeah.
Come on. Blame goes to Colbert. Colbert gets some blame too. He brought Ben back when he was aging. He had some awful draft classes in those years.
Yeah, I just looked at the 2016 season. That class was terrible. You had Artie Burns,
Don't remind
Sean
me.
Davis. No. You had Javon Hargrave, who was the only bright spot. He was only here 4 years. Then I think you had Matakavich. I think he was in there. I mean, like, it was not a good draft
Drew
class.
puts it on the money. Tomlin is the only constant not changed since 2016. Exactly. And we've been having the same situation, the same season, the same collapses for how many years now? I mean, come on. Come on. How many coordinator changes? Do you notice a difference? Do you generally notice a difference? I don't.
Like, you look at his coordinators, both off. I'm gonna start with the offense. You look at Fichtner after Haley left, Fichtner, then Canada, then Smith,
Trevor, according to Keith Butler when he retired, yes.
and then defensive
If
coordinator.
you're not down with that, we've got 2 words.
Don't
for
put that
you.
evil on me. Don't you dare put that evil on
What
me.
if Boz lose the game with a miss? No,
Don't put that evil on me.
He's already surpassed Gary Anderson for best Steelers kicker all time.
If he misses a field goal, it's because he wasn't thinking about James Harrison. That's why. That's why.
I don't need him to channel his inner Gary Anderson. I don't. Not at all. I don't
Please,
want that.
someone, I swear to God, someone, wherever Boz kicks the field goal, someone at the field goal spot has to have a big old blanket or poster of James Harrison's face. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, just this face right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just put it up.
They need to have like a poster or a sign or some big whatever of just James Harrison's face every time he goes for a field goal, and it's right where the net is. I think that'd be the most hilarious ever.
Electric Visual says Boswell has the flu.
Yeah, he's ill.
Is he?
Yep.
Oh,
Him
great.
and where's the injury report? Him and Hayward.
I know. Yeah, Hayward.
Hayward's ill.
Hayward had the flu for the Bengals game.
Oh, they're just gonna have flu games. MJ did it.
Yep.
MJ did it. TJ or JJ? You put me on a tough spot here. I'm gonna go JJ. I'm gonna go JJ. TJ's a stud. He really is, but I'm gonna go JJ. I still think JJ had the better career. He's a little more injury prone, but I still think he had the better career.
You can't go wrong with either.
No, they're like
In general?
they're there. Like, you know, just
I think I go. Honestly, I think I go TJ. Just because that flexibility, that versatility at the same time.
yeah.
You know what
The
I
fact
mean?
he can drop in coverage.
Yeah, I will go with that.
Facts.
And he can do it.
If we trade Tomlin, give me your top 3 head coach candidates to replace him. Mine are Ben Johnson, Brian Flores, and Liam Cohen. Those are great options. Those are really good options.
Yep.
Ben Johnson and Brian Flores are my top 2 for sure. My other one, listen, I'm not really exactly for defensive head coaches anymore. I feel like those are kind of dying off, and I don't know if the Steelers could really risk going for another defensive coordinating turned head coach. They did that with Coward. They did that with Tomlin, and my fear is they're going to do it again just based on history. But Aaron Glenn of the Lions is really good. Like,
Yes.
what he's been doing with the Lions and their defense and the injuries they have sustained and what they did to the Vikings, unbelievable stuff.
Mhm. Aaron Glenn has really come along as DC, just being under Campbell's coaching staff, and just even with the injuries that team has had to deal with, just having to rely on depth and even other guys that they brought in to fill in those positions. And Aaron Glenn is still just getting these guys in the proper circumstances. And again, it all comes down to coaching. Just on what he has been able to bring to the table as DC for Campbell, for the team, with backups at that. I mean, look at, Brian Branch. Like, we know he was a great player coming out of Alabama. He's had a great career so far in Detroit. But look at Kirby Joseph. The man led the NFL in interceptions with 9. I don't know how he didn't make the Pro Bowl.
Right.
But Kirby Joseph, like, he's come along as well. Look at the cornerbacks, I think Terry Arnold could come along really well. Amik Robertson, he's had a very good year with them.
Sure has.
Like, just incredible. Like, it really comes down to coaching 9 times out of 10. Aaron Glenn has done a fabulous job. I wouldn't be surprised if he were to become a head coach candidate soon.
I think him and Ben Johnson are both gone. I think they're both getting head coaching gigs.
Like you just know when the time is right. You know what I'm saying? Like last year for Ben Johnson specifically, like that was arguably the time to do it. But he was smart and he wanted to prove himself for yet another year. He wanted to stay in Detroit. He wanted to stay with Campbell. He wanted to stay with Goff in the offense. And the guys that, they already had. Right. And he took a chance on himself to stay there. And honestly, they look probably better than they did last year.
Right.
They got better. They worked together. The chemistry is just on par, just great. And I feel like right now is truly the best time for Ben Johnson if he wants to take a job.
Oh, obviously.
I mean, you know how many job openings are out there right now? New England, you got Las Vegas, you got Jacksonville. Just to name just a couple off the top of my head. Like there are available jobs out there with lots of talent, lots of potential. Just to get his input.
Well, Brian Flores, he's going to be head coach. Aaron Glenn probably head coach. Mike McDonald was just head coach. You know what I mean? So, defensive coordinating coaches aren't dying off. It's just typically the more successful ones, the ones that have won Super Bowls the recent number of years, are the ones with the offensive background.
Right.
You know what I mean? McVay, Zach Taylor,
Andy Reid.
They have those backstories to them.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's been successful in the league.
Yeah.
So, just want to throw it out in the future.
Nick Sirianni, isn't he offensive minded too?
I think so.
Yeah, so like whether they get to the Super Bowl or even win it, it's just just the principle of it.
I'll even say Sean McDermott. He's a defensive guy, and look what he's been doing for the Bills the past couple of years.
Yeah.
So
like it can work. It can work.
I don't want to completely discredit it.
No, I mean like the Steelers. You look at the 3 head coaches; they were all DCs before they became
I know
head coaches.
I just think the more successful ones in recent years have been the ones with offensive backgrounds.
Just a matter of just, going with the trend of the NFL.
I agree. Brian Flores should have already been head coach. The Dolphins did him dirty. Just the NFL, like you said, Remix did him dirty. And now Brian Flores is getting a second chance at DC. He's already gotten interviewed for, I think, the Bears. Because I think the Bears requested an interview for Flores and Arthur Smith. Bears, take Flores. Take Flores.
If they're smart.
I mean, I would like them to take Smith, so we ain't got to worry about him, but I would take Flores. I think that's the best case for them.
Yeah.
Personally. So, let's see. Where's the poll at? 39% of you guys say that Lamar is going to win MVP. Very close, though. 37% also think Josh Allen. So, I'm going to get one more poll in the chat here. Let's see. I don't want to be basic.
Drew, no, they're not getting Geno Smith.
Who?
Drew Mel, because he's a big West Virginia fan. He's a Geno Smith fanatic. So it's
okay.
He's high on Geno Smith. Like he's basically watched his whole career. When he was a Jet and then became a backup, then ultimately replaced Russell Wilson and whatnot. So it's he's a huge Geno fan. Like he talks to me about Geno all the time at work and whatnot. So yeah, they're not. No, that's not happening. Bro, I know you'd be the biggest.
Is he saying he wants Geno Smith here?
Well, he made a joke in the comments. He said, Steelers should get Geno. I'm a massive WVU fan, Geno fan. Yeah, it's not happening.
So I guess you were hyped when they drafted Zach Frazier then, huh?
And Frazier's a dog.
I know he is. So is Beanie.
Yep.
Both West Virginia cats. Studs, man. I put a poll in the chat for you guys. What do you guys think is the end result come Saturday night? One and done? Or did we get a playoff victory? Let us know what you guys' honest feelings are in the chat. Rob, anything else you want to add? You know what else is massive? Wait, what? Is there something that's over my head? What are you guys talking about? I gotta get my mind out of the gutter.
Yeah, please do.
You guys don't help. I'll tell you right now.
Well, I had this one comment in the live chat. Where'd it go? Hold on.
Lost it?
Yeah, from Steelers, actually. That's the actual name here. My take is the consistency is Mike Tomlin. All contenders have mostly a few things. One, a great O-line. Two, coordinators are not yes men. No matter what happens, Austin and Pat Myers should be gone.
Yes.
100%
Meyer absolutely needs to go.
Meyer
this guy
needs to go.
sucks. He has stumping everyone's development. He's terrible.
Meyer needs to go. He should have been gone.
I was never a fan of him coming back anyway. I always had fear that the O-line wouldn't see much development. They're keeping Broderick on the wrong side. Dan Moore hasn't improved at all. Get him out of here. Pat Meyer's got to go. I don't know who they would replace, but get someone better. They can't get any worse. Hopefully not. Then I say that, but every single one of them has gotten worse.
Yeah, like
Just can't win.
you could argue. I think I made this argument in the past, but you could argue the biggest loss within the past few years for the Steelers was them losing Mike Munchak.
I agree.
The Goon Squad days, bro.
I don't disagree.
Goon Squad days. They never gave up 20 sacks a season.
And they haven't recovered. They haven't recovered since, man. All right. You guys get your polls in the chat while I thank the sponsor of today's live stream. Huge shout out to BetUS Sportsbook and Casino for sponsoring with us for Wild Card Weekend. Chat, feel free to get involved, man. Who do you guys think is going to win for Wild Card Weekend? Chargers, Texans. I'm still thinking Chargers.
Yeah, that's not.
We're sold on Chargers?
No. Yeah, Chargers.
Steelers, Ravens. Be unbiased. Be unbiased. You know what? Watch this. I'm actually going to take the Steelers money line here.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, why not? Any given Sunday, right? What about Broncos?
All right.
What about Broncos and Bills?
Bills. Though Denver, I think they'll keep it close. Not just me, but that's what I think.
Green Bay, Eagles.
I said Eagles first to go around. Yeah.
I'm still going Commanders as my upset of the week.
All right.
I'm still going with my upset of the week. And yes, I did hear Rex Ryan got interviewed to the Jets. That's hilarious. Why would they do that? Why in the world would they do that?
Yeah, their listing of candidates for interviews is pretty poor.
Yeah. So for this one, we took the Chargers money line, which is the favorite. We took the Bills as the favorite. We took the Eagles as the favorite. But we took two underdogs, which is the Commanders and the Steelers. I find it absolutely insane. The Steelers are, as of now, the biggest underdog this weekend.
Color me shocked.
Wow, that's I don't know how I feel about that, but I definitely don't feel good. But I took all that. I put 10 on it. 10 wins us 325. If by some miracle that comes true, Steelers, I need you to lock in. I need you to not only help me win financially, but win emotionally. More so emotionally. Because emotionally, I'm kind of heartbroken, and I'm getting really old of the same stuff. So Steelers need to come up big. I'm going to place this if you guys want to tell this. Feel free to do so. BetUS, man. Take advantage of all those great perks they got, which includes a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 when you use the promo code YouTube150 when signing up at BetUS.com today. So take advantage of that, plus the fastest payouts in the industry, fast and easy deposit withdrawal process, live wagering on all major games. So if you guys want to get on the live action during Wild Card Weekend, they got you covered there. Personalized service 24/7, plus that promo code. Plus, if you guys are into this, BetUS also has a casino. So if you guys are into slots or live casino deals, BetUS has a special offer for you guys. When you sign up, you guys can receive a 200% sign-up casino bonus up to $5,000 and also a 250% crypto sign-up bonus to up to $15,000 or $5,000 as well. So claim all these bonuses and get going with all of the buzz with the casino and the crypto bonuses at BetUS.com. Sign up today. So huge thank you to BetUS for sponsoring with us on this live stream. Just please gamble responsibly for Wild Card Weekend.
Digital Dust says Russ farewell game on Saturday.
Could be Najee farewell game. Plus is a free agent. Dan Moore farewell game. Fuck, I'm excited.
Thank God.
I apologize for the cussing. Sorry, I got excited that this might be Dan Moore's last game. I hope it's not his last game because I want us to win.
Yeah, listen. Listen, I don't want to lose, but if this is it, I hope Dan Moore is freaking gone for good.
Yes.
That's what we mean by that, okay?
Yes. Out of context, I don't wish the Steelers to lose, but if this is Dan Moore's last game, it's been very stressful. Good luck in your future endeavors. Broderick Jones, get back over to the left. Let's go.
And stay there.
Sayamalu? I don't know. Sayamalu might stay another year.
I could see him staying. I could see him staying for his last year.
Who else is a free agent? Dante Jackson. This might be his last game. I don't know. You know,
I want to bring him back.
I also don't want to I don't want to really think that this might be someone's last game I mean, I know the likelihood of that is very high, but I really just want to win, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I know we don't really feel that way. I'm still banking on one and done, but maybe by some glimmer of luck, the Steelers can walk out with a victory against the Baltimore Ravens in some bittersweet victory, or just in some typical Steelers fashion where they have an ultimate collapse but still beat the Ravens in the playoffs, because why the hell not?
Gotta go and get that done, man.
That's all I care about.
That's what we need.
At the end of the day, we have our fears. We have our greatest nightmares coming to reality. That is what we are scared of. But not more so the Ravens. Not more so scared of the Ravens. I'm more so scared of what Tomlin and what the coaching and what the past is going to come back and bite the Steelers. It's not I'm scared of the Ravens. I know the Steelers can beat the Ravens. They've done it. It's just I'm more scared of the Steelers and their past haunting them. That's what I'm terrified of.
Yeah.
I hope that's not the case. We'll see what happens Saturday night. You guys know we'll be live for the game. It'll be high intensity. It'll be emotions running high. It'll be just one of those games where the attention, the focus is going to be intense. I'm looking forward to the game. I'm not feeling optimistic. I'm not exactly excited about it, but it's playoff football. It's Steelers versus Ravens in the playoffs. We don't get this often. You know, first time in 10 years. I remember they used to be so close together in the prime days. Not so much anymore. So, Steelers versus Ravens, prime time, under the lights, in Baltimore, AFC North champions versus the 6th seed. We got to go in. We got to find a way to win. We got to go in with a mindset. We got to go punch them in the nose. They took the crown from us. We gave them the crown. Now it's time for us to take their playoff spot from them. That's the mindset Steelers need to have.
Tear down that empire, man.
They got to be a lot better. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Coaching's got to be better. Execution's got to be better. Russ got to be better. Pickens got to catch the ball. O-line's got to protect. You got to pass the ball for sure. You got to start faster. You got to get points on the board. You got to contain Henry, get to Lamar. A lot easier said and done, but that's the game plan. Just don't run it back with last week's. Otherwise, here we go again. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we haven't won a playoff game in 7 going on 8 years. I'm getting real sick and tired of it. My patience is running very low. In fact, that pisses me off. What pisses me off even more is TJ hasn't won a playoff game yet. Let's change that. This Saturday night, that needs to change. My man needs to win his first playoff game. And it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. But it starts in Baltimore. It starts this Saturday night. This team better wake up.
They need to, for their own sake. It's go big or go home.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's how I feel about this game, man. That's how I feel going into this game. I'm sure the intensity, the feeling will be a lot more crazy when it reaches game time. When it hits playoffs, you know, you lose, you're out. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, single game elimination, as Tomlin likes to put it.
Right.
It's as simple as this, man. They got to handle business.
They're on the road, but you know, Steel Nation's going to be there. They need to just feed off of anger and aggression and ambition to win the game, and whatever else happens during the game. Whatever momentum they can find and feast off of, they got to take it.
We've got 2 words for
That's
you.
a name I haven't heard in a while.
Jason Holland with 2 says, why can't Fields be used like Terrell Pryor?
I still remember he ran that long touchdown on us in 2013 when he was the Raiders quarterback.
I remember his 1,000-yard season as a wide receiver.
Yeah. Didn't he have a 40-something yard reception versus us?
Yeah.
Or when he was a Brown or something?
Yeah, he might have, yeah.
I forget. That's a good question. I'd like to use him as Terrell Pryor. Why not? I'm not saying switch
They're
him.
so open to doing it, man. They say several times, we're open to using some Fields packages. We're open to using him a part of our game plan.
Like, don't switch him to receiver, but, you know, like he can throw the ball. He can obviously run.
Don't do that. Don't put him back for kickoffs. Don't do that.
I would like to see Russ, you know, be better in this game. I want to see Fields in this game. I'd like him to start. I know it's not going to happen, but incorporate him. If we see no Fields in the playoffs or in the game versus the Ravens, that is coaching malpractice. That's doing yourself a massive disjustice. You're handicapping yourself.
They got to go all hands on deck by any means necessary. They literally have to have any options on the table.
It's either win this game or you're not playing until August. It's as simple as that.
This is playoff time.
Come on, man. This is the playoff.
Whatever tricks you may have up your sleeve, Tomlin and Arthur Smith, right? Whatever you may have that you have not implemented or have not used, you got to get them out for this game.
Agreed.
Not the same old BS, not the same old, let's run a toss to Cordell Patterson. No, I don't want to see none of that.
No.
If I see a toss to Patterson, I'm going to flip my shit.
This is the playoffs we're talking about, man. I mean, come on.
More Mike Williams. Get Muth involved. Get Pickens involved.
More Beanie on the defense. More blitz packages. More Nick Herbig.
Less tosses.
And get you guys involved, man.
Less turnovers at that.
Like you said, all hands on deck. Steelers got to be a lot safer. They got to be a little aggressive. We'll see what happens. At the end of the day, here we go, Steelers. We got the Ravens this Saturday night. It's Ravens week. It's Ravens weekend for Wild Card weekend. They're the enemy. They're in our way. We're not in their way. They're in our way. That's how we got to look at it. We got to go into Baltimore. We got to win. I don't care how you do it. I don't care how ugly it may be. It's Steelers versus Ravens. It's never pretty. You go in and you get a W. Let's get it done. Do your job. Finish the job. And get a W. Get our first playoff win. Get TJ Watt's first playoff win. And let's advance to Buffalo. Or whoever's going to win that game, which is probably going to be Buffalo. We'll see what happens. See you guys in the next one. You guys know we'll be live for the game. So, again, high intensity. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere. Can't wait to share it with you guys. See what happens. I just hope it's not what we fear. I'm hoping it's close. I'm hoping the Steelers can come out with a win somehow. It's not impossible.
Just don't get blown out.
Yes.
If you get blown out, it's just what we are unfortunately expecting.
We averaged 2.8 points per game in the first quarter. We don't even average a field goal, and that's what we usually get?
We don't even get Boswell out there? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, we're probably not winning, dude.
Come on. I don't know, man. We'll see.
We're probably not winning.
I don't know. I'm gonna try to stay optimistic, but we'll see what happens.
Cross everything that you guys got.
Yeah.
Let's hope for the best.
That's all we can do. Hope for the best and hope for a victory. See you guys on Saturday. Let us know you guys' thoughts down in the comments below if you guys are watching on replay. Philip!
We've got 2 words
For the 199, he simply puts, let's go. Oh.
Let's go, Ravens. F the Steelers.
Yeah,
Well, F the Ravens.
Let's not go Ravens.
You know, I got respect for some of you players. I like Lamar as a NFL player, as an athlete. You can't hate the guy. But I don't like your team. I appreciate the super chat. I don't like your team. And you don't like our team, which is cool. I don't expect you to. But I don't like you guys. You guys are in our way. I'm trying to end your season, not the other way around. That's the mindset I'm at. We got to beat you guys. See you guys in the next one. Let us know you guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Huge shout out to BetUS for sponsoring with us on this live stream. Again, take advantage of the 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 and 125% on your next 2 deposits when you use the promo code YouTube150, as well as take advantage of the casino and the crypto bonuses that they just now implemented if you guys are into that. All those great perks when you sign up at BetUS.com. So huge shout out to them for sponsoring with us. If you guys are leaving, hit the like on the way out and hit the subscribe if you guys are new. See you guys Saturday night for the Steelers versus Ravens wild card game. We don't get them often. I'm excited for it. Just talking about it. We got to get a win. See you guys then. You guys have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your week. Make it a strong finish. 2 more days until the weekend. 2 more days until game day. See you guys in the next one. Here we go, Steelers. Beat the Ravens. Win a fucking playoff game. Here we go.
Let's get this dub, bro. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys later.
Peace! I apologize for the cursing, by the way.